Woo! And just like that, we're live and shit. Look at this. Mermaid said her head is pounding. You know, I was just talking to a chick that's always live and shit backstage. I'll bring her up in a minute. I said, every time something drops in this case, my whole body like revolts, puckers. I don't even know what to say. The nerve of this woman. Hey, look, Mr. Disney's bad enough. We got that. Hook, line, and sinker. We know he is an animal. We get it. The way she served her daughter up is so, what's the word? Somebody, come on. I need a proper adjective. Nothing. I mean, we've done Idiot of the Week before. I have a new award. Worst Mom. Look at that. Worst Mom Award. She had the gall to complain to the officers about anal. He's just so big, I just can't handle all that Mr. Disney digging in my junk. Ooh, can't do it. Disgusting. Disgusting. She talks about their sex life as vanilla. What? What are you doing complaining about how you get your groove on? Your daughter's been murdered. Let's take a second and welcome all of our amazing friends to the channel. We're live every morning at 9 a.m. Central. Welcome your neighbor. Exactly. We are live and shit. So hit that like and share this video because I want everyone that's interested to know what this woman did. And let's have a huge welcome to our girl, Kat. Good morning, Kat.
Good morning, Brooks. Good morning, everyone. How's it going?
Well, after what I heard this morning, it damn sure isn't vanilla.
Oh, you're just saying about what is it about this woman? Like, to me, we know Mr. Disney, right? We know what he is, but with her, what I think it is for me is a perceived injustice that she seems to be. I'm not talking about immunity or anything like that. I'm not talking about what might happen. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm just talking about what we are hearing. To me, it's a perceived sense of injustice that she seems to be getting away with how neglectful and otherwise maybe willful she was in terms of her daughter and her daughter's well-being and her daughter's, life. She just seems to be getting away with it. And to me, that's what makes me balk. That's what makes me angry, is the sense that there's no justice if she gets away with it.
That's what worries me. And we just have to hold out hope.
Yeah. But hearing it just ignites that anger, because you're like, how can you even sit there with, without a care in the world and say these things out of your mouth and have no concept of what you've done? It just makes me infuriated.
Well, in the way that she skates around their questions.
Yeah.
Here's a sample. First, let's go back to the beginning.
Okay.
This is a friend of hers. I can't pronounce her name. I'll just say Miss Morales, okay?
Yeah.
This came out February 27th. Please, she is a personal friend of Jenn Soto's. Mm-hmm. Please be on the lookout for Madeline Soto. She is 13 years old and never made it to school today at Hunters Creek Middle School. Her mom dropped her off at the church by the school this morning. Now, this is what Jenn told her.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
She is wearing a bright green hoodie, black shorts, and white Crocs. Again, this is what Jenn Soto said. She has been reported missing. Please call the authorities if you see her. Mom has contacted the media. This is why there hasn't been an Amber Alert. I can tell you why there wasn't an Amber Alert, because we know what we know now. They already knew she was dead.
Yeah, they knew that pretty quick.
The child must be under 18. Well, she is. There must be clear indication of abduction. Well, there wasn't. LE agency's investigation must conclude that the child's life is in danger. It was beyond that because she was already dead and they knew it.
Mm-hmm.
There must be a detailed description of the child and or abductor. They already had that dead to nuts. And the activation must be recommended by the local law enforcement agency of jurisdiction. Well, people scream about these Amber Alerts, but when the proof comes out in the pudding, we can put it together and we understand why there wasn't one. But remember, this woman who is not to blame, she is not a bad person. This is what she was told. Look, she posted this at 1:35 a.m. So she had recently talked to Jenn Soto. Her mom dropped her off at the church by the school this morning.
And how many times can that be a mistake? How many times? Because she must have told her friend that for her friend to then post that. But not only that, she told the news that. She told the officers that. We dropped her at school. I dropped her at school. This post says her mum dropped her at school. How many times can it be a mistake? How many times are we going to go, oh no, that's okay. It's just a figure of speech. It's okay. It's not okay.
Well, and what really, really gets me going, well, like you said, how many times can that be a mistake? Mm-hmm. Is why did she try to put herself at the school?
Exactly. You know, when your child is missing, you want all of the accurate information to get to them as possible. They need to know what they're looking for, when she was last seen, how she was dressed. All of this kind of stuff is so important, especially while your child is still missing. You need them to have the right information. And how many times are you going to screw up and say, I dropped her, we dropped her, mum dropped her?
V. Oakley said, I can't agree more. Words are important. People misspeak. We stick our foot in our mouth, or in my case, I just change feet because I've always got something going on.
Yeah.
Hang on. Is it Kimberly Mann's birthday again? Snow just happy birthday again. How many birthdays do you have, Kimberly? You're going to be 160 by Christmas. But it's the truth. Words are important. It's just insane what this woman is doing and trying to cover up. Pills, denial, the sex wasn't evil. They had a lot of questions about the missed period. And just because they haven't charged, double Big M yet, doesn't mean that they won't. Sometimes, for the protection of the victim, there's a lot of things they don't put out. But I will say law enforcement in this case, of course, there's some things they're doing I don't understand, but that's okay. That is okay. I don't want to understand if you want to know the truth.
Yeah.
But so early on, when they dropped that firecracker on us, when they said things that Jenn Soto has said, we know from our evidence cannot be true. I was like, boom. Yep. Let's look at, after we get our umbrellas, look at GB. Coming right out the gate, gifting those memberships. Man, it's getting wet in here. Thank you so much, GB. I love you. You guys are absolutely amazing, amazing people. And this case is one that a lot of people are very skittish of, okay? It's just too uncomfortable, and I understand it. Now, let's listen to this, and I want to discuss this before we get to the new drop on the docket.
Now, June 16th of last year at 9:30 p.m. and 27 seconds, you texted Stefan this: Maddie's no longer sleeping with me. I can't risk it. What does that mean?
I have no idea. Look at Grizzly. She's about to throw up in her mouth.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to Jenn Soto. I have no idea. You sent the text.
Yeah. I think it's another way that she's going to try and wriggle out of it is by claiming ignorance. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't remember. All of that kind of stuff is a way of distancing herself from what the hell was actually going on.
And I also think it's genius when you look at the 6-week time span from when they brought her back in with her attorney. And if this guy thinks he's going to save the day, I promise they already had the toxicology back.
Yeah.
It's approximately 6 weeks.
Yeah, they would have done by then. That's what I was saying in the show the other day. It'll be guaranteed that they would know exactly what was in her system by that point.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the reason he was asking such poignant questions like THC pills, hydroxyzine. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We already know about the Seroquel. We know that she was at one time on Klonopin. By the way, nobody is pointing a finger or shaming anyone that takes this medication, but we know that we don't give them to 12-year-old girls in order for them to go to room number 4 with Mr. Disney.
Right. Yeah, you don't call the poison hotline either, do you? Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, I gave her too much medication, so much so that I had to call the poison line and ask them if that was okay. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm. The poison line is if you have been spraying Roundup in your backyard and you feel lightheaded, okay?
Yeah.
It's not because you drugged your child.
Mm-hmm.
Helen, someone is in. She said, greetings, earthlings. And also, everybody is prescribed in a different way.
Right. Like you said the other day, it's based on your metabolism, your weight, your height, your age. Like there's a lot of factors, whether you're allergic to things, mitigating kind of medications, other medications, contraindications. Like it's never just as straightforward as, oh, I've got this medication, this might help you here, go have this.
Resistance. Some people, after they've been on something for so long, it doesn't affect them like it used to.
Exactly.
And I think we could, I mean, there was definitely stuff in her system or they wouldn't be bringing all that up. Hello, Dolly UK. All right, if you guys are ready, all right, deep breath.
Let's do it.
Remember, this is from the docket. Now, my understanding is like 2 or 3 creators paid for this for you. So I'm only going to play part of it so he gets the views. He seems to be a super cool dude. And I would, if anybody knows him, I would love to bring him on the show because I do like how he commentates in between. But deep breaths, guys. Yep. Deep breaths. By the way, before we get to deep breaths, did anyone notice that our girl Chrissy in here, she's been a member for a long time, has a wrench?
Oh, yeah, I did notice that actually when I came in. I was like, yes, Chrissy's on the mod squad.
Oh, can you all give a round of applause to our girl Chrissy? And don't forget to tell Kimberly Mann happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Casey, you made my day. She said, I needed to hear your voice today. It's honestly so comforting. You are the only person on the planet or in my life that has ever said I have a comforting voice, but God, I love you. Even though this is such an uncomfortable topic, I'm going to screenshot that and send it to my husband because I can tell you how much my voice annoys I'm going to send it to my kids too. Mom, would you
I kind of like your voice. I like listening to you on 3 times speed because you sound kind of like you should be an Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Ew, I never listened to it like that before. You ever played it backwards? Have you ever played it backwards? Do I sound like Satan? Remember Outlaw Trucker when he kept listening to those Beatles records backward? And
Yeah.
he thought the Beatles were telling him where Summer Wells was, and we all had to sit there and listen to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the reason I just let Galen kill him. All right.
Thank you all so much for being here. If you haven't already yet, please hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe and become a member. And thank you all so much for being here. I know Gray Hughes is getting ready to go live.
But it shouldn't be too long. Okay, so we spoke yesterday, and we've got a little bit more information since the last time we spoke. Last night, I guess it would be. So I'm going to ask you to go through this again. Monday morning, when you were asleep, Stefan and Maddie were upstairs, and she's going to school. Run me through that morning again. How, like you mentioned something about you hearing noises, and then you woke up. So how exactly did that go down?
Monday morning, I was woken up by Stefan Stearns coming into my bedroom to try to put the leash on the dog. He was saying, "Here, puppy, let's go," and trying to leash him up.
Okay, already I have to interrupt. Okay, she's calling him Stefan Stearns. The reason is because she has been talking to an attorney. All right, not my boyfriend, not Mr. Vanilla Lover, not the guy that likes the Hershey Highway. She's Stefan Stearns.
Yep.
Now, have we not figured out that that leash was not for a dog?
Yeah. Yeah. I think also, is this, just to give context, I think this interview is when as after Stefan's been arrested, but before they found Maddie's body. So at this point, she knows that Stefan's been arrested for all of the S crimes, but she doesn't know where Madeline is, or says she doesn't know where Madeline is, right? So that's the timeline of when this interview took place, isn't it?
That's my understanding as well.
Okay.
I will say that the leash is significant because on several occasions she makes mention of the leash.
Yeah. Yep, she does.
That really sticks out in her mind. And we know facts, not speculation, that it has been reported that Maddie was strangled. Also, no way can a dead person sit up. Mm-hmm. She would be falling on the dash. She'd be laying in the back seat. So they had to use something to tie her up. And a seatbelt's not going to do it because they have give.
Yeah.
They don't tighten up when you're in an accident or you slam on the brakes.
Mm-hmm.
I got up off the bed at that moment because my dog has a tendency to pee a little bit when you're too direct and you put a leash on him.
Mm-hmm.
You have to like talk to him nicely and yeah. He got the leash on the dog and told me, "Okay, don't worry about it. Just go back to sleep." And I said, "Okay." So I went back to sleep. I think this was around, I'm assuming this was around 8 o'clock in the morning, because I'm assuming, oh, he's getting ready to take her to school. He's walking the dog before he does that. Yeah. So I'm not sure what time it was, but I think it was around 8 o'clock in the morning when this happened.
Okay.
I thought I had heard somebody in the kitchen. I don't know who it could be.
I don't know who it to be. I don't know who it to be. Busy Mom said this interview was before Maddie was found. So why was she already talking about her in past tense?
Yeah.
We have said on this show over and over, I've had my ass handed to me by people when they're like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. That's just how they talk. That's just how they talk. Nobody talks about anyone in past tense that are alive.
No, exactly.
She knew Monday morning, February 26th. She knew then her daughter was dead.
I think she knew. I think she totally knew. And, you know, all of this denial that she's had going on for the last, like, 5 or 6 years at least, this part of that, I think she knew. She didn't want to accept it, or she didn't want it to come to the front of her mind. But subconsciously she knew, and that's why she's talking about her in past tense.
Absolutely, she knew. Let's talk without skipping around too much, which is always my fault, 100%. She sends a text to Chris Stearns, who is Mr. Disney's daddy.
Yeah.
He needs an attorney. Get him an attorney. They found images. Now, the way it was reported by Fox Orlando is they found the images. Some people will say the the is not a big deal. The means she knows what they're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. She knew there were images to be found, which is why she referred to them as the images. Oh, she's something else.
Gosh. You know, over the years, you know, and you guys, I mean, most of you have been around for a long time. This channel's been going, well, shoot, almost 3.5 years. We have come across some horrific cases. I mean, none of them are good. Don't get me wrong. None of them are good. I'm going to tell you right now, this one's in the top 5 of just
for real.
Depravity.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It's definitely up there for me. I mean, I think some things can be close to home to different people for different reasons, but it's really close to home for me, and it really gets to me. It's like one of those cases that properly sticks in my heart.
100%, because look at this beautiful little girl.
Exactly.
Look at her.
She didn't stand a chance. Honestly, carry on. Press play, please, because I'm just going to get really cross.
Oh, I know. Oh, by the way, I had a comment on the channel. Somebody asked why I never talk about Hispanic cases. Does Soto sound Greek to you?
We had a conversation with someone like that in their chat yesterday as well, but yeah, different story.
Well, I don't know where people come from. I get so sick of that shit. Virtue signalers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just heard sounds, but I'm not sure who it was. Who was in the kitchen? Could have been Stefan, could have been Maddie.
Okay.
Could have been one of my roommates.
When the deputies first talked to you, when you're reporting her missing,
yeah,
you remember writing a statement?
Yes.
Okay. In that statement, you say you saw Maddie.
I know. I misremembered. I did.
Okay, no, you.
I'm going to let him talk too. Misremembered. That's a new one.
It's another way of distancing herself and being in denial. I can't remember. I misremembered. I can't think. I think this. It's just a way of her distancing herself from responsibility, in my opinion.
Yeah, misremembered. I mean, we're getting a whole new vocabulary from this case alone. Misremembered. Yeah. I've heard of, no, I misspoke. I was upset, or I honestly forgot. You know, it's all coming back to me now. I misremembered. Hello, I'm not buying it. She lied. Okay.
I was ready to go.
Did you do a interview with Fox 35 recently?
Yes.
Okay. In that interview, you say something to the effect that you don't want her to come home.
Now, does anybody remember that being said in that interview?
I'm going to help the docket here. Okay, remember when what we're watching on TV, okay?
Yeah.
Unless it's live and shit. What we get are sound bites. Like here, what you get is live and shit.
Yeah.
Nothing's edited out. If I say something wrong, well, I don't know how to edit, so it's going to stay. The full interview was given to the police.
Yeah.
So because they took it out of their interview doesn't mean she didn't say it. Good morning, Angel Girl. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, Kat.
No, yeah, I was just going to say, all we heard her say was, I don't want her to come home harmed, or something like that. It wasn't, I don't want her to come home, that we heard her say. Like you say, the full interview will be with the police anyway. So the uncut version, I didn't personally hear her say, I don't want her to come home. I heard her say, I don't want her to come home harmed. So that's what I heard from that interview that they're referencing.
And we learned that in the Gannon Stout trial, because what we saw Letitia with her back turned to the camera, the full video, unedited, was played for the jury.
Yeah.
Did she say that she didn't want Maddie to
or go more in depth on the relationship that you have with Stefan?
Okay, now they're going to get into some, I don't know, you know, some graphic stuff. I mean, it's not extremely graphic, but it is about their sex life and problems with it. So just so you know, and you're prepared for it, it's about to begin.
Now, you said you guys have been dating for a while, and then you kind of broke up, and it's been on and off for a few years, I guess you'd say, right?
Yeah.
During that time, was he seeing anybody else?
Besides her daughter. I'm glad the docket gave everybody a warning. She goes, now this is the woman that said the sex isn't evil. The, what did you make of the, Kat?
Yeah, deflection thinking time. Like because she's, in my opinion, because she's lying, she has to give herself a lot of time to think, because you can't remember a lie, but you can remember, the truth never changes, so it's easy to remember. So always put a long pause if you're going to lie, because you better say the same thing you said last time you lied. She's honestly, that pausing business is just deflection and distancing from responsibility. Well, I don't know, maybe, possibly.
Ilyanka, is he dating anybody else? Uh-huh. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to water it down, because he obviously wasn't dating Madeline. It starts with an R and rhymes with rake.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing.
I was told at one point sometime last year that, hey, the girl I was hanging out with, one of my coworkers I was hanging out with outside of work, who I said I was hanging out with, I was really having sex with her. Because I asked him, I'm like, did you have sex with her? Like, because you told me you were just hanging out. Did you have sex with her? And he admitted that he did.
And if you remember, that was one of the reasons why their sex life went south. There was a couple other excuses that she used too, but this was one of them.
I think her name is Marielle, but I'm not sure what her name is. What her last name would be.
Okay. Now, the relation.
Okay. Now, in this video, they redacted it, but there's a few court documents that are hanging around Orange County. You can get them from there. And people are actually mentioning this woman's name. This woman has nothing to do with Madeline's abuse, okay? And the more that people try to bother her, the harder it's going to be to get her to witness. And she's going to have to, because she knows things. She knows him intimately. And so I really wish people would just leave it alone. But I really wish she would leave it alone too, and quit worrying about YouTube and get ready to testify. That's just my opinion, though. What do you think? that.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's trying to run every scenario over in her mind before she says something that she really shouldn't say. The only problem with that is it's tending to put her in a much worse light than if she just told the instant truth, you know?
Mhm.
Relationship that you have with Stefan, you told me that you haven't had sex in a while.
Yeah.
When you guys were together and intimate with each other, is maybe a little uncomfortable, but something that we have to discuss is when you guys were intimate with each other. A lot of people call it vanilla sex.
Mm-hmm.
Some people call it, whatever kind of sex you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe you and Stefan when you guys were intimate?
Pretty vanilla. I would say just missionary and oral, but nothing more than that. Missionary.
Okay. Has he ever asked you to perform a certain way or anything that you think would be out of the ordinary?
He's I want to say he's joked around about wanting anal sex, and like, yeah, we should do that. We should try that. And I'm like, absolutely not. No, to me, his penis is average size but thick, and it hurts. So I don't want even normal sex hurt to me. So I just didn't want to do it anymore, honestly.
Okay.
Okay, I need a second to barf. Okay.
God, yeah, I just threw up in my mouth again.
Can we all barf? Vanilla sex with someone that's too thick. So even normal sex hurt. So anal was no way. But later she says he only wanted the back door. Yeah.
And also at this point she knows about the reasons why he's been arrested, because he's been arrested at this point. And she knows that she's saying these words with her own mouth, knowing what he did to her daughter. She doesn't like it. Oh no, she can't take it. It's too uncomfortable. He's too big, all the rest of it. You know what he did to your daughter. Why are you thinking about... Honestly, I can't. I just... So it wasn't okay for you, but it was okay for your daughter. Is that what you're saying? That's what I would have asked her.
That's exactly what she's saying. And I'm glad that you said it and you put it that way.
Trying not to get your channel removed, Brooks, but seriously, this shit, you can't just walk... Sorry.
I think Real Rockin' Robin said it for us. Oh, you draw the line for yourself when it comes to backdoor.
Yeah.
But would have cared less that he had backdoor with your own flesh and blood. She said, my blood is boiling. She knows what he's been arrested for. She already contacted his father and said they found the images. Needs an attorney. Now, remember, there's two different articles. There's one that says they found images. Another one said the images. It's really important, to know what the truth is.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I'm surprised that this detective, let me tell you what, he has a lot of restraint.
Oh, God, yeah. I think I said that to you before the show, isn't it? What I would have done to her if I was that detective in the car, but I don't think you can really say that kind of thing on YouTube. A huge amount of restraint.
I think about a case we talked about a couple of weeks ago where the grandmother was on TV and said, what this woman deserves, the state doesn't do. Right. And in cases like this, you just really wish they could.
Yeah.
Nothing other than that you think would be out of the ordinary?
No.
Okay. All right. So he is on medication. You told me he's on medication for insomnia.
Insomnia.
Can you say that right? Sleep apnea.
Yeah.
And then I believe you said ADHD.
Yeah, and also anxiety meds, I think.
Anxiety. Okay. Anything else that you can think of?
He did have, I think, a vial of, I'm not sure it was Viagra or Cialis, but one or the other.
Mm.
I know he was having a hard time getting an erection or being able to enjoy getting off. And he ended up figuring out we couldn't figure out, he went to the doctors, tried to figure out why he was having these issues. They told him it must be something mental because physically his body's fine, should be acting normal.
Okay.
But we found out it was a side effect due to the Adderall medication he was on, that he was not able to enjoy himself sexually once he got off Adderall for a while and was able to enjoy himself again. I think there was no need for the Cialis or anything like that.
Okay. Would he ever talk to you about what kind of porn he liked watching or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Have you ever, quote unquote, watched porn with him or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Think about it, Jen.
No.
Mm.
No. Now, you can tell that this investigator has experience in essay crimes, okay?
Yeah.
She doesn't understand what kind of rodeo she just entered.
No, she doesn't know what he knows. She doesn't know what he knows. She doesn't know, if that makes sense. He knows a lot more than she does because he's done this rodeo before.
Well, and he's already talked to the girlfriend.
Yeah.
He's only asking things he already knows.
Yeah.
He knows there was another girlfriend besides Madeline, who I'm not going to call a girlfriend, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So he already knows about the pills. He knows that this woman told him that Mr. Disney would get aroused if she played dead. Okay. So he's trying to get her to corroborate this, which she doesn't until much later. Sal 80, great point. Love you, Sal. Sal said, she's like, you don't take meds for sleep apnea. You get a CPAP machine.
Right. In fact, taking medication if you've got sleep apnea. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but that's crazy. You don't take medication to make you sleep if you've got sleep apnea, because the danger is that you stop breathing when you're asleep, and the medication would suppress your breathing, make you even more relaxed, which would make you even more likely to stop breathing. So that's just, well, I agree with the person that left a comment. I can't see who it was. Sal 80. I agree. You don't take medication. That's ridiculous.
Because it all has to do with how you breathe when you sleep.
Exactly. So you're not going to take a medication that's going to relax you into sleep, that would relax your breathing windpipes and stuff and make you even more likely not to breathe.
100%.
All right, now Maddie, what medication did she take?
She was on hydroxyzine, which is a sleeping medication and anxiety medication. So that, because she suffers from really bad GI issues, she's constantly constipated. What else? She had an asthma inhaler. She had an asthma inhaler. I can't think of any other meds she was on.
Does she take that medicine to school with her?
The asthma medication, yes. The asthma medication, yes. The Adderall I give to her before she goes to school, and the anxiety meds we give it to her when she's at home.
How does she react to this medicine?
No,
Like, how does her body react?
fine.
Okay.
No side effects. No, nothing weird.
Okay.
She says, fine. No side effects, nothing weird. Now, let's talk about how damn dangerous it is to give a child hydroxyzine to sleep and then Adderall to function when they get up.
Yeah.
And I'm not about blaming the schools. I'm not about blaming the schools, because all this stuff starts at home. It does. In every case, it's the family. It's, if you even want to call them that. But if one teacher would have said, this girl keeps falling asleep in school.
Mm-hmm.
This girl has got some issues that don't seem normal for a 12-year-old going on 13 or 11 going on 12. Had they involved somebody, they would have figured out quickly that things weren't good in the hood.
Yep.
And she would be alive and living with her daddy.
Yep.
Now, there's been some arguments in a couple of Facebook groups about the father. And from what I can see, he was alienated. They could not let him find out what was going on with her.
Yeah, I think there was some talk about the stepmother or his new wife or girlfriend asking her some questions at some point, and from that point on she wasn't allowed to go and stay with them anymore because obviously they were too close to finding out something that was a family secret in that respect.
Yep.
And she takes it in the morning or at night?
Adderall she'll take in the morning. Hydroxyzine, the sleeping meds, or the anxiety meds, either or. Probably in the afternoon or evening time close to bed. We use it mostly for sleep aid. That would be given to her at night. The asthma medication was used, and the GI medication was given.
Okay. And then medication that you take.
Me?
Yeah.
I take Ziprazidone, which is brand name is Geodon. That's for bipolar medication. I take anxiety medication, lorazepam, methimazole, which is a thyroid medication. I'm also prescribed medical marijuana in capsule form and flower form. And then a vitamin D medication, a really high dose of vitamin D I have to, because I had gastric sleeve surgery a few years ago, so I'm vitamin deficient. So they give me some high doses of medications to keep my vitamins balanced.
I don't understand why in Florida you would need vitamin D. That's more
That
of
was
a
on the tip of my tongue. That was literally on the tip of my tongue. But I was like, no, I don't live in Florida, so maybe I'm wrong. But how the hell could you be vitamin D deficient in the Sunshine State? What?
That's more of a Northeast thing, or Pacific
British thing. British thing.
Alaska. Is she talking about B12? Because B12 is common to be prescribed after a weight loss surgery, which, by the way, she did the weight loss surgery to attract him. She used her daughter to keep him around.
Wow.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I've just never heard of anybody in the Sunshine State having a vitamin D deficiency. But hell,
Not an unusual concern, I shouldn't think.
Wow.
I think that's it.
Okay. All right. So going back to the morning that Stefan takes her to school, you said you think it's around 8:00 when you physically see Stefan messing with the dog?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't see Maddie anywhere?
I don't.
Okay. When Maddie gets dressed for school, like now that I've seen the inside of the house, it looks like a majority of her clothes are in that little partitioned area in the living room.
Yeah.
Does she have clothes anywhere else? Like where would she put clothes to wear to school the next day?
Okay. Where would she get dressed? She would get dressed in her bedroom right there, that little nook in the living room. All her clothes are there. When she takes off her clothes, her dirty laundry hamper is typically in my bathroom downstairs, and she'll just dump it in the basket. But there is no basket there right now. She's been dumping everything on the floor. I think the basket is currently being used with clean clothes. So I just wanted to keep the clean clothes and dirty clothes separated. So dirty clothes are on the floor right now. What's in the basket should be like half clean, half dirty clothes, I think.
Okay.
I mean, call us detectives, because everything he is asking her
Yep.
is what we've been asking. And
Yep.
mainly it's been about the laundry.
Yep. Yep. And she still ends up with a basket that's got half clean and half dirty clothes in. I mean, come on, Jen.
Well, she canceled an appointment that day. You know why? Because she had to do laundry.
Yeah.
I
Her
hate to say it.
$350 Botox appointment that she just decided that she didn't want to pay for.
She had house cleaning to do that day. That's
Yeah.
why. Because let me
Got
tell
shit to
you
do.
what, no woman cancels a dermatology appointment. Even if you have a damn car wreck on the way, you're going to call and be like, I'm going to be a little late. They don't cancel that shit. They'll put the gyno off forever and a day. Okay?
But not
No.
the Botox.
No. Except me. Remember when I had that done, Kat, and I looked like Spock? It dropped my forehead down, and Greg came home and couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And I kept saying I had a sinus infection, which I didn't.
Oh, my
And
life. I've never told a soul about that.
yeah, that was the same week that I thought I was going to be a model. Remember that for the eyelashes?
Yeah, I do remember that.
They were giving me $25. Yeah.
Cheeky bastard.
I got screwed on that one too. Barb Murray, thank you for the super sticker. Y'all show some love in here. Canceling appointments same day convinced me. Me too.
Yep.
Because she supposedly did not know Maddie was missing at the time.
No.
So suddenly she becomes Susie Homemaker and she's making sure her laundry gets done. Why would that be such a priority on the day she went missing?
You know what they say about unusual events that happen on the day that someone goes missing?
And we have too many to count.
The Red Flag Factory is sold out of material.
When you
Yes, this is February the 29th. So she hasn't been found yet. So this interview is before she's been found. The second interview, this interview is 40 minutes long. The second interview is almost an hour and a half long. Or no, I'm sorry. The first interview is almost an hour and a half long. The second interview is 40 minutes long. It's conducted on 3/1. It's on the ticker, the dates. I didn't put the times, but the dates are there. If you miss it and you need to see what the dates are.
Okay, I'm glad that he made that crystal clear, because February 29th is when they interview her. Maddie was found the next day.
Yeah.
Does anyone notice unemotion knowing that her daughter, at this time, I believe she knows that Madeline's dead. She has been murdered in her home. Her boyfriend is in jail for doing unspeakables to her daughter, and she is emotionless.
Yep. She knows but for 100% definite, she knows that Stefan is in jail at this point, and she knows what Stefan is accused of and why he's in jail. But they haven't found Maddie's body yet, so I believe that she did know, but I actually feel like legally she didn't know because they hadn't confirmed it. They hadn't found Maddie yet, so I guess there's that. You know, it's a matter of opinion whether she knew or not. Yeah. At this point.
Barb Murray is coming in with hard facts today. She said all these perps do laundry. Candace did laundry too. Yeah, she mentioned laundry.
Yeah.
Also, Breasia Terrell, Aggie, remember this. They couldn't find a scent of Breasia because Aisha did all her laundry. So did Andrea.
I mean, at this point, if Jenn Soto came out, gave an interview, and say she spent the whole day planting flowers, I'd probably be like face palming. Planting flowers, doing laundry, the two things that people always do on these days when something really bad happens to their child.
Mm-hmm. Didn't Letitia do laundry? Oh, hell yeah, she had to have. I mean, considering, yeah, Barry Morphew did laundry.
But also in the interview that came out last week with Jenn Soto, when she was at the police station and they did that derivative immunity interview, she said that Madeline did her own laundry. Which you can only assume then from that interview that Madeline would have been doing her own laundry from the age of 8. That Jenn had nothing to notice about it or nothing to be able to say about it. Except for, yeah, Madeline did her own laundry. Yeah, okay.
Because she's separating herself because
Yep.
as a woman, we all know
Yep.
what it looks like when you see laundry,
Yep.
when another woman is menstruating.
Yep. Mhm.
Or we know the difference between, maybe a pee-pee stain and
Mhm.
blood.
Yep.
But she made sure to separate herself from that.
Yep.
And if Madeline does her own laundry, you brought up a brilliant point, Kat. If Madeline does her own laundry, her words, not mine,
Mhm.
then how come the day of her murder
Yep.
did she make sure to get her laundry done?
Yep.
She knew
Or
that
half
Madeline
of
wanted
it.
to come home and need clean breeches.
Yep.
Why did Brandon Shirtliff have to do his laundry
Yeah.
the day that
Real.
Michael was abducted?
About an hour away from the place where he could have done his laundry in the home there where he was staying.
Mm-hmm.
He specifically went there to do laundry and to get a vehicle.
100%. This reminds me, I've got to put laundry up, and I hate putting dishes up, and I hate putting laundry up. God.
You go to sleep when you were sleeping that night. Was your door open or shut?
It is left cracked open.
Cracked open. Okay. Would you see or hear Maddie going to get changed?
I would say yes, but if I weren't deep asleep, and I think I was deep asleep because I didn't hear anything until Stefan came and woke me up to try to get the dog.
Okay, so he woke you up to help with the dog?
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't hear tussling around or wrestling around in the kitchen that made you wake up to go help?
No. It was him. He came directly into my room and grabbed the dog. And I got up. I shot up to try to help him.
Then why mention it, Tori? Why mention it? If you want to stay out of it, then I wouldn't mention it. I mean, it's simple.
It was until later that after that is when I heard rustling in the kitchen.
Okay. So he takes the dog out, took a potty or whatever it may be, and he comes back inside. Do you see him when he comes back inside?
I don't remember.
Don't remember.
Do you remember him leaving, saying bye to you or anything like that when he's taking Maddie to school?
I don't think so. I think at this point I was already back deep asleep.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure when he...
That baby voice, I cannot stand it. I'm pretty sure at that point I was already back deep asleep.
Yeah, sleepy sleep. My snappy snacks.
Mm-hmm. Michelle Cox said Chris Watts did laundry. Yes, he did. Scott did laundry. Look, we have a, no pun intended, laundry list of, like Barb said, of perps that decide to do some damn spring cleaning the day that there's a big M in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I was back deep asleep.
He went to walk the dog and left. I fell right back asleep immediately.
Okay, that right there, this definitely had to have turned the investigators' stomach, because at this point they know it's not true. Let's look at the timeline.
Yep.
He walked the dog. Okay, she's saying this is around 8 in the morning. 7:30 a.m., February 26th. Stern's car spotted near apartment dumpster. That's when he was throwing away the backpack and the laptop. I'm going to say at this point, it was probably at Jenn's command. 7:36, female body in passenger seat as Stern's car leaves apartment complex. Let's talk about this 6-minute gap, my friends. It doesn't take 6 minutes to throw stuff in the dumpster, get back in the car, and leave. It does not. Okay? I think he was having problems keeping her tied up.
Upright.
I think he ran back into that apartment, grabbed that leash, and came back out.
Yep.
8:19. Car seen back at apartment, body still in passenger seat. Remember, he lied about that.
Yep.
He said he didn't have his clicker or something, and then he said he did have it. 9:42 a.m. Car seen in hotel garage and moving body to trunk. 9:46. Car seen driving away. 4:30 p.m. Jenn Soto goes to pick up Maddie. Maddie never made it to school. 8 p.m. Now remember, she sent emails to the teachers as if anybody would do that. 8 p.m. Maddie reported missing. She says around 8 o'clock he decided to take the dog for a walk. No, he's just outside of the dumpster, which is just catty corner from their door, okay? But he knew he couldn't keep Maddie sitting up. That's when he ran back in and he got the leash, probably the leash he used to do the deed, and he tied her up.
Okay. Now you go back to sleep. You wake up because you have a doctor appointment to go get blood drawn or something like that.
Yeah.
And you told me your appointment was around 10 or something like that, 9, 10?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I think it was 10:15. Yes, it was at 10:15.
Okay. So you go to this appointment, and on your way back, did you talk to Stefan on the phone at all?
I know I talked to him while I was in the parking lot waiting for my blood work to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't recall if I called him on my way home as well.
Well, you're holding your phone. You can tell him right now. Skipping around again, I probably shouldn't do it, but Angela brought a great point up. We have some new names in here. Y'all, we have some new names, and we have some people in the bushes that aren't commenting. Let's get people out of the bushes and say, come tell us hola. Y'all are going to like it here. There's been conversations about the Christmas money and the birthday money. Who thinks, speculation only, that wad of cash was meant to get Jenn her Botox? This bitch doesn't have 2 dimes to rub together, even with her 10-hour-a-week job. Maddie comes in with a roll of cash, and she's like, cha-ching, Botox time.
And Christmas money we already know was missing at one point, whether it was found again subsequently. But then Maddie comes home with several envelopes of cash from her birthday party, and they consolidate it into one envelope, as Jen put it.
Mhm.
She was so happy with all her gifts. What kind of gifts did she get? Oh, she got money.
And some trinkets.
Mm-hmm.
Busy Mom has a question. And also, if you received a membership, you can thank our girl Diana Howry. She is an amazing, amazing woman. Busy Mom, legit question. How do we know for sure that Stern strangled Maddie? How do we not know if Jen did it and Stern helped her? The only way I can answer that is because they've had a full-on investigation and he's the one that's in jail for murder.
I guess my answer to that would be we don't know, but I guess law enforcement have a much better idea than I do, and they've arrested him. I mean, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that she did do it, but we can't say that with any evidence or anything because law enforcement say otherwise at the moment. That's how it stands. Whether things will change or not in the future, if they find more evidence, I guess that will be a thing that might happen in the future.
They won't be done with this case anytime soon. I guarantee.
Yeah.
I guarantee it consumes their everyday life.
Yeah.
At the office and more. Because I promise those investigators are chomping at the bit to get her. They just have to find something to convict her. They can arrest her right now just for lying to them. But it's a misdemeanor and she'll be out.
Yep. They already said that, didn't they, in the derivative immunity when they did that interview, and they said to her, whatever you said in the past, we're not going to have it play into evidence or anything at this point. It would be a misdemeanor for giving a false police report anyway.
And they don't like to look around with misdemeanors.
No, exactly. Why would they? There's something bigger at play here. It's like that's the small fish. They want the big fish in this situation, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Kimberly Mann has a question. Our everyday birthday girl, she said, can you go over exactly what she is immune from? Kat explains it better. Go ahead, Kat.
So basically anything that she said in that interview that was put out last week by the Docket, Plunder and Grey Hughes, the information they had, in that interview it explains that derivative immunity means that anything she said before that interview and anything she says in this interview, as long as she's telling the truth, they can't prosecute her for any lies that she may have told previously unless they find out through independent investigation that there was something that she lied about. So they would have to find out by independently investigating and not relying on her evidence. She has the right not to incriminate herself. Basically, that's what she's immune from. Anything she told them previously, it was like a clean slate, wipe clean. We go from here. You tell us the truth from this point forward, and unless we can prove through independently investigating that you lied about anything in this interview, then we can't use it against her.
What it comes down to is this is actually a very common practice when they're trying to get bees. They have to use honey. We talked about it yesterday in the Sebastian show. So you're immune from your previous lies.
Mm-hmm. But if you lie to us in this, they said to her, you have to tell us the truth in this interview now.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you lie to us in this interview and we find out that you lied, now you're in trouble.
Now, how long do you all think it's going to take, opinion and speculation only, for Stefan, considering he's got his mama in his ear, Mr. Disney, to turn on her and tell all?
I mean, I guess even if he did, they'd still have to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
They can't just take his word for it. They'd still have to prove it.
And and that's their job. I mean, goodness, the digital alone.
Kind of, there's such a big part of me that wishes that he would just plead guilty and there wouldn't have to be a trial, because I just think this is so, the whole brevity and gravity of this whole case would be so much easier if he pled guilty and then just had to spend the rest of his life in jail. But I've just got a feeling that he's so up himself and he's so supported by his mother that he's going to go the full not guilty. And I do think that he'll end up on death row. But I feel like he'll...
I mean, they want the death penalty. Nobody's
Yeah.
going to plead guilty to that. No way.
No, but if he pled guilty, would they take that off the table?
I don't know how Orange County normally does it. You know, my understanding is, you know, they want that DP.
Yeah, I just kind of wish that if there was one way around all of this, and it's purely selfish in some respects, because it's like this trial is going to be one of the most harrowing trials ever, I think, because of all the evidence that they've got. And if he pled guilty and there was no trial, to be honest with you, I mean, for Maddie's sake, really, for her peaceful rest, I feel like it would just be so much more respectful to her if he pled guilty, but I just don't think it's going to happen. It's probably not a popular opinion.
Laura has a really good point. Good morning, Pam Davidson. How are you, my beautiful friend? Aurora said, I think if the DP is removed, then he might give Jenn up. That makes a lot of sense. You want Jenn, you take the needle away. I'll sit in jail the rest of my life and eat my root beer barrels and drink my coffee.
Well, and who else was involved as well? I mean, we talked on the last show that you had about the most likely possible scenario being that this is part of a ring that was going on. I mean, who else has he got information on and can give up in that respect?
I agree. And I think Homeland Security is neck deep in this. Look what they did over at the Cox house.
Yeah.
It would seem like I would do that, but I just can't 100% tell you if I did do that or not.
Okay. At what time did you and him meet back up here?
So I got back from my blood work appointment anytime between, let's say 11:15, 11:30, so sometime around that time.
And was he already here?
Yes.
Okay. What did you guys talk about when you got home?
What happened this morning?
What did he say? What happened this morning?
He's like, we had a good morning. We made really good time. Maddie got ready super quick. We were out the doors super quickly. I was super impressed with our time. I tried convincing Maddie to go have McDonald's breakfast a few times, but she changed her mind and decided she didn't want to. She just wanted to sleep in the car. And the thing is, the night before, we had discussed, oh, Maddie, maybe he should leave a little bit earlier than normal so that you can go get breakfast with him at McDonald's. That would be a really cool day to start a Monday right after your birthday, having McDonald's at breakfast. And she's like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. So they were supposed to have gone to McDonald's, but he told me they didn't. He told me he had left his phone because I had no, he had already told me this earlier that he had left his phone. What else did we talk to you about?
I will tell you all, gang, you're going to hear things that, sorry, my microphone was muted. What I said is,
Okay, I want to look at this comment from Nufflin. She said, I still believe those images were produced to sell because we originally heard 17,000 images and it quickly went to 35,000.
Yeah.
And just the descriptions from the documents, I won't get too graphic. Even the tripod couldn't catch those angles. Okay. when Christopher Stern said when his son moved back home, Mr. Disney, and he said, I wasn't giving him money, but suddenly he has all these packages showing up. He goes, oh, I've been saving my money. Saving your money from what?
Yeah, to have a job.
Yeah. Is
Can't
it
pay your rent because his daddy's paying his rent for him, $600 a month. So where's he getting his money from then?
Was that the birthday money?
But
Or
yeah,
was it from selling images?
that is, in my opinion, that is the most likely thing.
I agree.
I would say once every few weeks.
True crime with strategic eyes. Go check him out. Go check him out.
It happens a lot. Like for me, that's a lot. She has ADHD. She's very forgetful. She'll set something down and completely forget where she said it later. Where I found her phone was on her dresser. So I'm assuming she placed it there while she was getting ready and completely forgot about it, got ready, grabbed her backpack, and left. But it was on the dresser in front of her TV.
So would she have not have taken it upstairs with her then?
Okay, say that again. You're reading my mind. Go ahead.
She found her phone on the dresser in front of the TV. Well, presuming she says her dresser, she means that cubbyhole bed place where they call it Maddie's room sometimes. So would she, the night before when Jenn sent them upstairs to room 4, Maddie left her phone there then, I assume, because that's where Jenn found her phone in the morning? Or why was her phone there?
That's what I want to know. Do you think she's painting herself into another corner, or she's trying to give them probable truths? She's just trying to give them enough to get her out of that room.
Yeah, I think that's what she's trying to do. I think she's like, she told the story before in the last interview that we listened to, which wasn't the previous interview to this, but the derivative immunity interview. She said then that she was sorting things out and tidying things up in the house that morning, and she found Madeline's phone. She wasn't surprised that she found Madeline's phone because Madeline was forgetful and did all the victim blaming stuff that she's done all the way along with Maddie. But that was when she, in that interview, she said it was when she was tidying the house and sorting things out that morning, you know, Earth Mother of the Year, as she is. But now the phone is pretty much by the side of the bed that Jenn, actually slept in that night. So how does she imagine her phone moved around the house on its own?
I can tell you my theory. I think when she sent Madeline up to room 4, we're going to assume that really happened.
Mm-hmm.
And she took her phone with her because, you know, kids do that.
Mm-hmm.
I got to grab my phone. I think he took it and put it downstairs.
Yeah, maybe. See, the only thing that didn't make sense to me was that he got rid of her laptop, well, her school laptop, her rucksack. He got rid of a lot of her belongings in that dumpster, but he didn't get rid of her phone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know obviously they could track the phone, but he didn't have the foresight to think that if she had run away, that she would have taken her phone with her. Don't make sense to me why the phone was still in the house, to be honest with you. Not that I'm trying to think like a schmurderer or anything, but I don't understand why he didn't get rid of the phone.
And my question besides that is, why even get rid of the laptop and the backpack?
Well, yeah, exactly. The laptop could have been traced, I'm sure. The backpack, and in the dumpster outside your apartment complex, you're trying to almost suggest like this child ran away from home and cover your tracks, but you don't get rid of her phone. Don't make sense to me. Why was he moving her phone around then? If her phone was upstairs and he moved it downstairs, why did he do that? Why? I don't understand why he... Well, I can't understand it because I'm not him. Thank God I'm not, really.
One, I think it's to mislead law enforcement, and 2, it's because he can't have a threat of her calling anyone.
Yeah, I guess so. And then if they try and call her, obviously her phone's there. Like Jen tried to call her phone while she had it with her in the car when she went to the school to pick her up. These people are geniuses.
Till they got caught.
Mm-hmm.
That's a normal thing for her to forget her phone.
Mm-hmm. Now, when she went, do you remember what time she went to bed on Sunday?
I sent them to bed around 11 o'clock.
Okay.
I lose my mind every time I hear that in every interview. And I was talking to somebody. He is a 37 or 38-year-old man. Now,
Yeah, I agree with the docket.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I hear it, it's the sting is still real. The sting never goes away. Ilyanka said because he needed Madeline's text about running away to live in the woods. Oh. Because they did find that text on her phone to make it appear. That was one of the very first news breaks we had with Madeline. Ilyanka, oh my goodness, you genius. He can't throw that phone away because they needed that text. And we already know he's too stupid to know that they can pull those texts up either anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he was stupid enough to not even realise that accidentally factory resetting your phone doesn't take the 70,000 images off of it. So yeah, pretty dumb.
But he needed that text. And I know a lot of people have speculated who actually sent that text. How premeditated is this?
That was one of the first things I said. Was it actually Madeline that sent that text in the first place? Like, one of the first questions I asked.
Oh, I agree.
Maybe a month or two. Not very long. And then before that, I've been unemployed. I've been living off disability, essentially. I'm disabled.
Okay, why are you disabled? From what?
I have a bunch of things. Primarily PTSD.
From what?
Giving me fucking PTSD. Sorry, F.
okay. Now, this is another one of the times my chin hit the floor. Now, they redacted it out, but it doesn't take a genius to figure out what she's talking about.
I want to talk about the PTSD. You have disability, she says, mainly from PTSD. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Yet, she's going through leaps and bounds to keep this PED around her.
Yep.
And allowing, I know some people will argue about that, saying there's no way she could have known. She knew.
Yeah.
She knew. She said the sex wasn't evil. The murder was.
Mm-hmm.
So she suffers from PTSD, but sits back and allows this to happen to her daughter.
Yeah. Yeah. It's PTSD by proxy.
And I want to understand, if she's living off disability, Christopher Stearns is paying her part of the rent. That was one of the things he complained about. He said, I didn't know the rent I was paying was for the whole family, meaning Jenn, Madeline, and Mr. Disney.
Yep.
So she's getting disability. Someone else is paying her rent. And then she gets a job. How do you get a job with disability? I don't know how that works. I'm not saying it's not true. I just don't understand. I mean, disabled means you can't work.
Because there's still enough left in it that you can figure it out. But this is why she has PTSD and on disability.
And then before that, I've been unemployed. I've been living off disability, essentially. I'm disabled.
Okay, why are you disabled? From what?
I have a bunch of things. Primarily PTSD.
From what?
So PTSD, bipolar 2, generalized anxiety.
There's your confirmation. It is now factually known. Bipolar 2. It's factual now. Straight from the horse's mouth. So we can forget about the horse's ass. We're getting it from the horse's mouth now.
This dude can sit with us. Okay.
Yeah, I like his turn of phrase.
I do too.
Oh, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, I want to take you out on a date. And I said, oh, wow, I've never been asked out on a date in person before. And we went out on a date. He got really drunk. We got back to his place.
Redacted, 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 redacted. But you get where she's going with it.
All right.
If you didn't work, what would your typical day look like?
Hang on. She went and got drunk with the dude and now she gets disability? Seems to me that something went on. A little more than having a drink with a friend. I'm going to hear that again. Okay. I'm sorry, but I have to unpack this.
Okay.
For Stefan. But,
Okay, if you don't mind me asking, what happened with
I went on a date with a guy I had met.
Was this before Stefan or?
Yes, before
Okay.
Stefan. This was way before. It was a few years before Stefan. Or maybe the year before Stefan. But, met a guy at a car dealership who interviewed me for a job. I turned the job down and he said, oh, great, I can't date my employees. And I said, oh, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, I want to take you out on a date. And I said, oh, wow, I've never been asked out on a date in person before. And we went out on a date. He got really drunk. We got back to his place.
They redacted it.
Redacted, 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 redacted. But you get where she's going with it.
All right.
If you didn't work, what would your typical day look like?
Okay. They left that alone. Yeah. I get drunk with DT Driver quite a bit. I guess I'm going to go fill out my disability paperwork. Let's put this together. Okay. So she's saying that she got drunk with this dude and she was assaulted.
Pretty much, I gather from the insinuation of the redaction, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not minimalising that, but my first instant thought then was, why did you allow that to happen to your daughter from the age of 8 then? If it gave you PTSD, what the hell does she think it was giving Madeline? That was my instinctive reaction to it. Because this was apparently a one-time thing with a guy that she went on a date with. And I'm not saying that that's not bad. Of course it is bad. But her daughter was the victim of systemic from the age of 8. But the sex stuff isn't bad, right?
You said the sex stuff wasn't evil.
Wasn't evil.
In my opinion, she would have been more protective of Madeline after this encounter. Right.
But no, just you worry about your bipolar 2 and your PTSD and your disability check, sure. What about your daughter? This is what I'm not getting to. I'm not saying that what happened to her, whatever happened to her wasn't bad. But what it doesn't give her the right to do is allow her daughter to be subjected to the same thing from the age of 8. It's not okay.
Mm-hmm. No,
she willfully turned a blind eye to it and then to turn around and say, oh, but the sex stuff wasn't evil. Well, guess what? What happened to you then? Was that evil or not evil? It just makes me really angry.
I'm super angry. No, No, I'm beyond angry right now. I'm about to come out of my damn skin. I'm coming unglued.
My entire day was focused around Maddie.
On a normal basis.
I would wake up first thing in the morning, make sure she was ready, make her breakfast, get her backpack and water bottle ready. If she's taking lunch, get her some lunch ready. This is me doing this while she's getting ready. Walk the dog, come back, make sure she takes all her medications before school, take her to school, come back. I typically have a bunch of doctor's appointments to go to often, so I'm either at doctor's appointments. If I'm not at doctor's appointments, I'm just here at home, probably napping, resting, just waiting until it's time to pick her up from school again.
She's real salt of the earth, isn't she? She's real salt of the earth.
My every day was for her.
Now we
Oh my God, Mom of the Year. I had all these doctor's appointments. I had to go pick her up. Shut up.
We just heard how she couldn't even wake up when he came in to get a dog leash and get the dog and all of that. She couldn't wake up. She went straight back to sleep. We're now supposed to believe that
Deep asleep. Deep asleep.
Deep asleep. Sorry, deep asleep. And now we're supposed to believe that she gets up every morning and she cooks Maddie's breakfast and she packs her lunch and she gets her water bottle ready. And then all of this is happening while Maddie's getting dressed and she walks the dog. And this is a normal day for her. So what the hell happened on this day then? I don't believe that she's the salt of the earth mother of the year. Hell no.
Worst mom award goes to her. I think we're going to start doing this every week. Who is the worst mom? Well, we know some that are going to win every week. She sleeps more than my cat.
Hell yeah.
Everything I did was shut up.
you have a little bit of what we've been hearing in all of the other interviews, right? That little, you can hear her voice cracking up a little bit, but it gets harder.
Did Stefan know about your doctor appointment on Monday? Did you tell him what your plans were on Sunday?
I'm not sure when I told him. I must have told him Sunday night, yeah, or Sunday, because there's no way I could have told him Monday morning if he didn't have his phone on him, and I didn't really talk to him that morning.
Where'd you meet him?
We both worked at a real estate office off of iDrive somewhere. They're called Eco Homes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they exist anymore though. The Eco Home Company. I think he was a real estate agent for them or did warranty work for them. And I was an appointment setter. And I didn't have that job for very long. I got fired. That was right after my PTSD incident. I couldn't hold down a job at all.
So when you and Stefan would hang out, say Maddie's at school and you two wanted to hang out, or the three of you wanted to hang out, like what would you guys do? Like where would you go? Or
primarily Disney. We have Disney annual pass holders. We both worked for Disney at one point. Well, at least he worked there at one point. I still work there. But we go to Disney. We go to Disney, or we stay at home and they would play board games, or we'd watch. Well, we loved watching movies. We would always have family time and just watch a new movie. Like, I felt like it was one of our projects to make sure that she watched all the good movies from the 80s and 90s that we grew up watching. I just wanted her to have the knowledge of pop culture. So last movie we watched with her was Sister Act.
when was that?
Sunday night.
Like, would you go out to eat anywhere, like a favorite restaurant or anything like that?
The only restaurant I think we frequented a handful of times in the last year is La Mexicana. It's on off of Columbia. Honestly, living on disability and then his income at Disney, it wasn't enough to survive. We really didn't eat out often, couldn't afford it.
There it is.
Say it again. Go ahead.
Not enough to survive on his income and her income. Not enough to survive on, and yet she's booking $350 Botox appointments. He's going off buying all his little figurines and all his pieces of damn toy crap that he's
Yep.
got around. But no, their income's not enough to live on.
Not enough to survive. So I wonder when they would get their bonus from the images, that's when they go treat themselves to the fancy restaurant. Mrs. O, she said, I truly hope SSD is taking notes of this scammer.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, I guarantee all of this has been turned in, and I hope they make her pay every dime back. It happens all the time with people that are on disability, and especially workman's comp. You got Apple Watches, you've got Botox, you've got all this stuff, but it was just wasn't enough to survive. Wasn't enough to survive. Well, they figured out their paycheck, did they not?
100%.
Would you go like visit any parks, or other than not Disney parks, but like neighborhood parks or anything like that?
No, we'd hang out right here at this lake.
Mhm.
Maddie really liked hanging out at this lake and just drawing, sitting on one of the benches and drawing. Any other park? No, not really.
Now, what if it was just you and him, say going out on a date or wherever? Where would you guys typically go?
So, due to money, hardly ever went out on a date.
Due to money, we hardly ever went out on a date. Now, do you hear this investigator asking her anything about their financial situation?
No.
She's bringing it up.
Absolutely. Well, this is deep, you know. This is actually really fucking deep. Because you know they have money.
You don't get those season passes to Disney without spending a pretty penny. No. And once you get into an amusement park, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's the county fair in Okmulgee, Oklahoma. You go in there, when you start spending, you're spending a lot of money.
Yep.
Goodness, she makes me mad.
Yeah, for real.
Honestly, we hardly went out on dates. There's only one date I can think of that we went on, and that was like years ago at the beginning of our relationship, where we went to Disney Springs. I went to the Edison. I don't think we've had many date nights, just him and me. It's always been the three of us doing something, going to dinner, going to Disney Springs. We visit Disney Springs sometimes, often, or not often, but sometimes. We really liked that restaurant, Deluxe Burger. Really good. June really enjoyed it there.
Now, the dynamic between you three. I know you told me that sometimes you and her would sleep in the bed.
Yeah.
Sometimes the three of you would sleep in the bed. And then sometimes you would send him and her to a bedroom so you could get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
How long has that been going on?
Okay, so I'm going to say back in June. It was primarily the three of us sleeping in bed together all the time.
And why? How did that start?
Let's talk about that. She said it was back in June. We know there was a text, June 16th of 2023, where Jenn Soto messaged the POS. Well, it's kind of hard to navigate who's the bigger POS in this, if you want to know the truth.
Real.
Said, can't have Maddie sleeping with me anymore. It's too risky. Well, that's when the three of them started sleeping together. The night of her murder, she sent them to room 4. Her words. So she
was the subtext of the text, if you like. Maddie's not sleeping with me anymore. It's too risky. And he said, well, that's okay. I'll come sleep with you. And then it'll all be safe and sound or something. That was the point that he was introduced to the bed, if you like. Then what it had to have been a result of that text in some way, shape or form, surely.
100%. It's too risky because she knew what was going on in that bed was beyond unsavory. It's too risky. I can't sleep with her. So you have the night of her murder. I have to get a good night's sleep. I'm exhausted from work. So tell me, what would have been going on in her bed that would have kept her awake? She knew what was going to go on.
Yeah. Because it had gone on before.
That's exactly.
Right underneath her nose.
Let's look at this. This is what was said.
Now, June 16th of last year at 9:30 p.m. and 27 seconds, you texted Stefan this. Maddie's no longer sleeping with me. I can't risk it. What does that mean?
I have no idea. The sleeping arrangement started in June of 2023. We all started sleeping in bed together. We all started sleeping in bed together. Yet she texts him, it's too risky. But sends Maddie out of the room because she has to get some sleep. Listen, unless somebody is a heavy snorer or they like to listen to damn heavy metal when they're sleeping, it's not going to disturb you to have someone sleeping by you.
Right.
I think they were both doing unthinkable things to this little girl.
Yeah.
Maddie has always slept in the bed with me. She's always slept in my room. Only when we lived in that apartment in Northport did she have her own bedroom, and we could afford for her to have her own room. So that was the only time she's actually had her own room. Here, she's always shared a room with me. When she was a baby, she had her own bedroom here for a few years. But once she got older and we started having roommates and all that stuff, she started just staying with me in my bedroom. Stefan, during the times that we did live with Stefan, it would be the three of us in this bed down here, down in the master bedroom. It wasn't until June of last year that we had broken up, and I said, okay, I don't want to sleep in the same bed with you. Please move upstairs. And he moved upstairs. At this.
Okay. Remember, this is February 29th, 2024. They're going to find out she's lying.
Yeah.
So in the interview they do in April of 2024, we went through it a couple of days ago. If you missed it, please go back through it. That's when they confront her with this. And they said, you get immunity from your lies from before.
Now, June 16th of last year at 9:30 p.m. and 27 seconds, you texted Stefan this. Maddie's no longer sleeping with me. I can't risk it. What does that mean?
I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter the dad grooms the child and the child turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him, like, that was my biggest fear and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
Why would you say that to him?
because I never trusted. I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man.
That clip.
What the F? We have a lot to unpack, my friends. I understand this is a really uncomfortable subject. Barb Murray, thank you for the super sticker. She texted Maddie's dad about the phone under the door. Well, who's the one that had the phone under the door?
Yeah.
Taping the roommates.
Yep.
Stefan. That's
Sorry.
a really important thing that she revealed. I don't want a Woody Allen situation where you groom her and fall in love with your stepdaughter. She knew. Kat's about to lose her shit, everybody. I need internet hugs for Kat.
At this point, Maddie pretty much slept with me all the time. I think I can count. Maybe on one hand how many times she's gone upstairs to sleep with him alone, because I wasn't comfortable with it. I was like, no, this it doesn't look right. Like, it just doesn't seem right. Like, I'm not comfortable with it. Maddie, you got to sleep with me. And I've told him that. But there were times that they'd beg for sleepovers. Like, please, we just want to stay up late watching movies. And I would be too tired to stay up late. So I would say, fine, go ahead and do it. But just this once, like.
When did you start becoming comfortable with it?
I don't know if I was ever comfortable with it.
But you told them to go Sunday night to go sleep together.
I did. That was a selfish move on my part. It's because I wanted a good night's sleep. I didn't want her kicking me or rolling onto me or waking me up, or to hear her alarm so that it woke me up. I wanted to keep sleeping until I needed to sleep, because I just had not, with my training schedule, I have not had a good night's sleep. My medication was out of whack. I was feeling funny and not like myself. And
Bullshit.
Yeah.
You could have sent him to room 4, and you could have had her go to the living room where she normally slept. The only time Maddie sleeps with them is, well, when them is there, meaning when he's there.
Yep.
The rest of the time, she sleeps behind the partition where all her clothes are piled up, her stuffies, her bankies. She would have sent her there. She knew what was going on. Are you okay, Kat?
Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry, I'm having random outbursts of swear words.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, all this, oh yeah, but that was a selfish move on my part because I really needed to get some sleepy sleep. And like, I haven't slept for a while. So it's like, oh, you guys just go upstairs.
That was a selfish move on my part.
That
No,
was
what it
just like-
was. No, what it was is he said, well, I went to the birthday party with her and now you owe me. Just like the whole tick for tat. Maddie could play with his phone if she did things with him.
I knew that I needed another night's sleep and my medication in my body, like ASAP, so I needed to go to bed. So I wasn't even comfortable sending her that night, but I just did it for my own selfish reasons.
Okay. Did you know?
Redacted. Thank you, everybody, so much for this gift memberships.
He's never said anything to you or anything about it.
If anything, I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child and the child turns 18.
Okay, now, it kind of got ahead of me. Listen to this.
I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child and the child then turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him like that was my biggest fear and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
Why would you say that to him?
because I never trusted. I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man.
How about that?
Mom put that in your
I'm
body.
Your mom didn't put that in your head. Your mom is the one that said on TikTok that Stefan gave Maddie the love she liked. We're going to break this down.
I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child and the child then turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him like that was my biggest fear and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
Why would you say that to him?
because I never trusted. I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man.
Can't do that to me.
How do we even unpack that one?
I mean, it's just. I get. When did you have this conversation with him? When did you say, you can't do this to me? What if it's a Woody Allen situation where you end up falling in love with your stepdaughter and then when you're 18 you run away? You can't do that to me. Help me out, Brooks, please. I can't.
And why is everything about her? You can't do that to me. Do, re, me. You can't do that to me. You can violate my daughter all you want,
Right.
but you can't do that to me. It was selfish of me to send them out of the room. She's the mother. She could have easily said, you go to your room. Moms get woke up all the time, okay? Moms get woke up all the time. I don't have children living with me, and I can tell you right now, I get woke up all the time just from my damn cat. But I'm not going to be like, oh, you have to sleep somewhere. No. What mother in here doesn't get woke up throughout the night? Or father? It was selfish of me. Selfish is not the word.
No.
But I needed sleep. No, she knew what he wanted. Her biggest fear, she said, my biggest fear, not murder, not pregnancy, not SA, none of the things, not the big R word. Her biggest fear was that there would be a Woody Allen situation.
It's gross. It's just gross beyond words. I can't even imagine being the person that would be thinking about how I'd feel if somebody groomed my daughter and then fell in love with them and my partner, say, and then took them away from me when they were 18. And how could they do that to me? I just can't even imagine how that came to the front of her consciousness, that she even had to say that she'd had that conversation with him.
Look at it this way. She's afraid that her boyfriend was more into her 13-year-old daughter, going on 13, than her.
And you know what that shows? Consciousness of guilt. Because she knew. Otherwise, why did she even have an inkling? If she even had to say that out loud and had that conversation with him, she knew what he was doing to Maddie. And she didn't care because she was more concerned about how she was going to feel. Oh, holy shit. I was raging when I clipped that this morning. And yes, I clipped it off the docket. Raging. Well, you can probably tell that I'm still raging about it now.
And we have seen other cases where a child is murdered that, of course, selfishness always comes into it. You know, we have the Evelyn Boswell case. You know, girl wanted the guy that owned the chicken shack more than her daughter because he says, you know, I want children, but I don't want anyone with children.
Right.
And we see cases where women are truly jealous of their own daughters. I would say Candace Wells is one.
Not
I would
helping me.
No helping me. I would say Aisha Langford is one. She was very jealous of Breasia, and she served her up to a ped.
The Woody Allen effect on the thumbnail, but she calls it the Woody Allen situation.
He's never said anything to you or anything about it.
If anything, I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter
always told him
the
that
dad grooms the child and the child turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him like that was my biggest fear and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
why would you say that to him?
Because I never trusted. I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man. And like, I did not completely 100% trust the man, but in my, like, the logic in my head was saying, you know, he's been in your life for 7 years. Nothing's happened. He hasn't shown you anything that he's weird or that he's done or that he's interested in her or said anything about her body or talked to her about her in any specific way that like freaked me out. He's never said anything like that or shown me any of those signs. So I thought I could trust him, that he was safe, that he was a good guy and that he was taking care of my baby and loved her the way I loved her. But I was wrong.
I think you each loved her the same way, you freaks. Now, if you're having this inkling and you don't trust men, then why have your daughter around her in the first place?
Right. I think Truth to Light just said it in the chat. Like, why didn't you have that conversation with Maddie? Why didn't you say to Maddie, you know what, there's some men in this world that you really won't ever be able to trust, and what you should do is protect your body, and if anybody says to you, I'm going to do this to you or that to you, or if anybody does those things to you, you mustn't keep that to yourself, you must tell me. But no, she didn't have that conversation with Maddie, she had that conversation with him.
Yep. Don't fall in love with my daughter and pull a Woody Allen.
Ooh.
Not, hey, with all the different people coming in the house, you know, roommates and so forth. Him. Don't ever let anybody get into your private space, period.
Mm-hmm.
She never spoke to her daughter about anything. She had a heart-to-heart with him. That scares me more than anything in the world.
Yeah.
You falling in love with my little girl.
Yeah.
Like a Woody Allen situation.
Oh, God.
Holy hell.
And she always said that to him, meaning that she always said this to him, as in it was in the forefront of her mind at all times that this was even a possibility. She basically said, I'm really scared that you're going to groom and abuse my daughter, and then when she's 18, you're going to take her away from me, and know what that's going to do to me. And he was like, oh no, I'd never do that to you.
Mm-hmm. Truth to Light said she was complicit in it all.
100%.
Exactly. Let's fix the conversation. This is how this went down. Don't pull a Woody Allen on me and fall in love with her. You can do whatever you want to do to her, but don't think that you're going to fall in love with her. That's how that conversation went on, and I bet it happened a lot. All right, fine, go to room 4, but don't pull a Woody Allen.
Yes, because you may think he was whatever.
I know.
Here come the tears. Here come the tears. Grab your tissue.
Fake
Is it
crying.
real?
Oh,
Genuinely asking. Do you think it's real? I see one fake. This can't be real. My face is mad. And Cakes Boo says no. Friend of Cows, not real, fake. 43 Shay says yes, it's real. We've got a so fake. Fake AF. Fake, no. Disgusting. Crocodile.
Let's take our own poll. Do you think that the tears are real or are the tears for her?
well, I'll say this. There's one way, I mean, to be fair, I have heard this already, so I kind of have a bit of a pre-knowledge of it, but just see how quickly she turns the tears off in a minute. So this howling crying that she's doing now, and you see how within maybe one question time, the tears stop, completely stop, and she goes back to talking like she talks without a tear. So to me, it's fake, and it's all for herself.
This reminds me of another case that we talk about quite a bit on this channel where someone's like, oh, because it just sounds awful. And then starts ripping off wires going, it's not helping me. I just want to go home. I want to go home.
They've been arrested and taken to the FBI arrested Dolly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got a pretty good sampling there. Okay.
His actions Monday morning.
Okay.
So you go to help him with the dog. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you or do you not see Maddie?
I do not see Maddie.
Okay. At that time, would it be normal for her to be awake, getting up, ready for school?
Yes.
Okay. And according to you, she typically does that in her bedroom.
Yes.
Okay. When you go out of your bedroom to help him with this dog.
I never left my bedroom.
Didn't?
He was in my bedroom. He walked in. The dog was on top of my bed, and he went to leash the dog on top of my bed. I got off the bed to try to help him with that, and then he said, "No, go back to sleep." So I did.
Okay. He tells you that he took Maddie to school and drops her off somewhere near the school so she could walk because she doesn't want to be seen inside of his car.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe him?
I don't think so.
Why?
Because of the evidence, because of photos, because of what you're telling me. Because he's clearly a liar. I want to hope my daughter's alive and out there and that she was taken. I don't know anyone.
Well, I can be fairly confident that a stranger did not take Maddie.
I can be fairly confident that a stranger did not take Maddie.
Mm-hmm.
They already know what went down.
Yep. And I think she knows as well. Well, in fact, I know she knows. Because she knows that Stefan's already been arrested. But she's still under some kind of denial, delusion, distancing, whatever you want to call it, that he's her best friend. And, you know.
Uh-huh. And little do the detectives know, she has already sent his father a message saying, get him an attorney now. They found the images.
Mm-hmm.
but she's turning on the waterworks as if she's some kind of victim.
Yep.
And sex crime detectives have a different way of dealing with people than the ones that are sitting someone down going, hey, look, what are you doing stealing shit and pawning it? They have a totally different way of doing it.
Yeah.
They know how to deal with her.
Yep.
The only person she was with was Stefan.
Why would he go to Northport?
I don't know. I don't know what's in Northport other than his parents. Did you know he was going to Northport?
I thought when I woke up and he wasn't in the hotel, I thought he had gone to the Target Plaza right next door to the hotel we were staying at because he likes to go shopping when he's stressed. But that's not what happened according to.
He likes to go shopping when he's stressed.
Oh,
With
yeah.
what
Stress
money?
shopping.
Stress shopping. Okay. Y'all, according to you all, you guys are poorer than Joe's turkey.
Yep.
You can barely get to the Mexican restaurant because it's impossible to live on your incomes. You have PTSD and you think that your boyfriend is going to pull a Woody Allen and fall in love with your daughter over you, which, by the way, he already did. I'm not saying that's love. He goes stress shopping. Now listen to how the tears come on and off.
Yep.
The only person she was with was Stefan.
Why would he go to Northport?
I don't know. I don't know what's in Northport other than his parents. Did you know he was going to Northport?
I thought when I woke up and he wasn't in the hotel, I thought he had gone to the Target Plaza right next door to the hotel we were staying at because he likes to go shopping when he's stressed. But that's not what happened according to you guys. He actually went all the way to Northport and came back.
So when he gets stressed, he likes to go shopping.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he tell you he was going shopping on Monday?
He was going to go stop at a few game shops to see if they had any Lorcana cards for sale.
Here's my problem, and I've seen some of you say it. It seems like she turns it off real easy.
Yep.
She does. I want to know what woman says, instead of going to work today, you or doing things around the house, there's always sticks to pick up, weeding to do, a yard to mow. There's always something to do. You're going to go to game shops and pick up Lucaner cards. The hell?
Want to?
Yes. And I know that I brought this vape shop up to one of the other detectives earlier, and I had shown them this location. But that vape shop is located in a plaza where it has an Amscot on one corner and a vape on the other corner. So if you guys could probably find video footage of if he was even there, pulling in and out. So that's in Hunter's Creek.
And you know for a fact this is where he went?
That's where he told me. Yeah. If it's any vape shop, it's this vape shop. And
Why that one? Why that specific one?
he likes the brand, the e-smoker company. And that's where he gets all of his vape stuff. He won't go to any other vape shop around here. He goes to that one.
What time is this vape shop supposed to open? Does it say on there?
10 a.m.
Okay. When you guys are here, are you guys assigned garage remotes for the? How many of those do you have?
I have one. Stefan has one. I'm not sure if Angelica or Natalie have one.
I mean, is it something you keep in your pocket, or
I keep in my car.
what about Stefan?
I think sometimes he leaves it in the car. Sometimes he brings it in with himself. Depends.
Why would he bring it inside?
I'm not sure.
Does that seem normal to you? To bring a garage remote inside the house?
No. But he said that morning he left the house. He said that morning he left the house and then returned again because he forgot the garage clicker, so he came back to get the clicker. I don't know how true that is.
Do you think that was odd?
He's a very forgetful guy. I don't fucking know what to think of him anymore. I don't know if he's lying. I don't know.
He lied about the clicker. We already know there's body cam. We're going to talk about it in another show where the security guard had to let him in.
Yeah.
He denied even being back there.
Mm-hmm.
So he forgets his phone, forgets the clicker.
Came back to get the dog leash. We came back for
within 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Because he knew he couldn't keep her sitting up to look like she was alive. 7:30 a.m. if you look at the screen.
Yep.
His car spotted near the apartment dumpster. Now, mind you, all he had to do was back out of the spot and just pull up to the dumpster. He was in a hurry to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
But when he saw that he couldn't keep her up, he left the car there. He ran back in. She says it was sometime around 8 a.m. She said 8:13 a.m. And he was taking the dog for a walk. Now, maybe that's what he told her. I don't know. I damn sure wasn't there and wouldn't want to be. No, he grabbed that freaking leash and he had to use it to tie up Maddie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you know you're all around.
Yeah. That's Maddie asleep in the car.
Maddie's not asleep in the car.
Okay. Pay attention, perk up, and listen. Perk up and listen.
He's a very forgetful guy. I don't fucking know what to think of him anymore. I don't know if he's lying. I don't know.
All right. So you know you're all around.
Yeah. That's Maddie asleep in the car.
Maddie's not asleep in the car.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pause it right there. He confronts her. She said, yeah, that's Maddie asleep in the car. She knew. He confronts her. That's not Maddie asleep in the car. That's not her asleep. But she's trying to tell him his business. Yeah, that's Maddie asleep in the car. No, that's not Maddie asleep in the car.
What do you mean?
Do you believe Maddie's asleep there?
Is she dead?
I don't know.
Is she dead?
Oh,
I don't know.
just told you she's not asleep in the car. What other inference can you draw from that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, bearing in mind, he's showing her a photo at this point. He's showing her pictures that she's looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, that's Maddie asleep in the car. He said, that's not Maddie asleep in the car. She said, is she dead? Well, what other inference are you going to draw from that, considering you're looking at a photo of her?
you would have had to have called 911 on my ass and said, we need paramedics here now.
Yeah.
Is she dead? What do you mean? But you're trying to tell him she's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to her reaction.
Could you hear what she said? It's really low. That's boosted. Did you hear what she said?
Do you believe Maddie's asleep there?
Is she dead?
I don't know.
Is she dead?
We don't know where she's at.
Now, I will tell you,
No way would the cops confront her with a picture of her daughter unless they think she's involved.
Mm-hmm.
No way would they talk to Fox Orlando and say what she says and the evidence we have do not match up.
Mm-hmm.
No way. They don't work that way.
You thought around 8 o'clock.
Because I assumed that he was getting her ready for school. So that would be the time he'd wake me up and take her.
all kind of bad assumptions.
So this is at 7:30 in the morning. Ish.
That's way too early.
But you said you thought around 8 o'clock.
Because I assumed that he was getting her ready for school. So that would be the time he'd wake me up and take her.
All kind of bad assumptions. Girl, all kind of bad assumptions.
Was earlier.
Just for the recording, this is a video from within the complex that shows the front angle through the windshield.
Yes.
Listen up. Now they're showing her a video, not a picture. A video.
So the next picture is going to be Maddie in the front seat of Stefan's car. You see, right here?
Mm-hmm.
That's taken at 9 o'clock near SeaWorld.
9 o'clock in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Really? Really? I mean, you can't look at the picture and tell if it's 9 in the morning or 9 at night. I mean, come on. And at first he says video, but then he changed the picture. So my apologies.
I'm hoping you can tell me that.
And right there, she whispered something, where the F did he go, or something like that. If you have headphones, please help a brother out and let me know, because I don't have headphones. And I cranked it up. I can't catch it.
9 o'clock in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Something WTF, something.
Where did she go? Where did he
I'm
go?
hoping you can tell me that.
Where did he go? Is what she said.
What did he do would have been a more appropriate question. But okay, Jen, you go ahead with your where did he go?
Mm-hmm. Now remember, 6 weeks after they found her daughter's body, she was really prepared, and that's when she said, "The sex wasn't evil; the murder was." Yeah.
Went to SeaWorld?
He's near SeaWorld. That's International Drive. Does he know anybody up there?
I don't think so.
Hello,
He doesn't
Jen.
have, he doesn't have many friends like that. Like, not locally.
Jen, comment number 9. Your time is up.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You think he's meeting friends at SeaWorld?
You just seen photos and videos of your daughter obviously passed away in the front seat of his car, and all you can focus on is, well, where did he go? SeaWorld? What's at SeaWorld? Oh, there's fish at SeaWorld. Oh, does he know anyone up there? You just seen photos of your daughter unalive in the car, and you're, oh, I can't.
He's not that dumb. She's trying to play as dumb as possible so they get off her back. She's ignoring what she already knows, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And in her mind, none of this was evil. None of this. It should be to any person, and it damn sure should be to someone who suffers from PTSD because they had a drink with someone that violated them.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's no police report to that. She wasn't that violated then. She won't even say what the car lot was.
Does he have anywhere he would like to go?
Is there a special place he likes to go?
Nothing I can think of.
Here's another picture from the dumpster in Venetian Bay of Stefan throwing away trash.
What day?
That's going to be Monday morning, probably around 7:45.
Has the dumpster, has that already been taken? Have you guys been able to look at what was dumped? What was thrown out?
What do you think was in there?
Clothes? I don't know.
What makes you say clothes?
Thank you. That was my first question. What do you think was dumped in there? Clothes? It's a dumpster, bitch. You would say trash. Someone took the trash out on their way to work or on the way to take her to school. Clothes? What makes you say clothes? But who was at home doing laundry that day?
Yeah.
Her. Clothes?
Yeah.
What do we take to the trash? What do we take to what do we take to the dumpster? Friggin' trash.
Uh-huh.
Clothes?
Maybe is Stefan in the habit of regularly taking bags of clothes to the dumpster, or nah?
People donate clothes.
Exactly.
They take to churches. They take them to the Goodwill. They take them to Salvation Army. Well, I mean, sometimes you'll throw them away if they're just like, ugh, nasty. Clothes? I mean, come on, bitch. You go to the dumpster or the trash can, you're throwing away trash. I'm talking toilet paper. I'm talking Kleenexes. I'm talking cat litter. I'm talking green bean cans.
Mm-hmm.
You don't wash your clothes in the fucking dumpster.
I can't tell what he's holding. I don't know if it's a plastic bag full of stuff or...
No,
inside of that bag is Maddie's backpack, Maddie's school computer, and one of her Crocs.
Who bagged it up?
Yeah.
It was said very early on that they found her laptop and backpack. We never heard it was all bagged up to appear to be trash. So they went through all of it. They went through all that dumpster. Okay?
Yep.
Clothes. He should have put her in the dumpster.
Yeah.
The Crocs she said she was wearing. Let's go back to this. This is from a very good friend of hers. Please be on the lookout for Madeline Soto. She's 13 years old and has never made it to school. She is wearing a bright green hoodie, black shorts, and white Crocs. That is a total lie
Mm-hmm.
because one of the Crocs was found in the dumpster.
Are you telling me we're looking for a body right now?
We're looking for Maddie. Absolutely. 100% we're looking for her.
No. It's most likely she's not alive.
I don't know. I can't answer that.
Most likely she's not alive. Most likely she's not alive. Why? Because a Croc is in the dumpster?
Because you just seen pictures of her reportedly not asleep in the front seat of the car.
Mm-hmm.
What gave you the first clue? What was your first clue, Jen?
He's like, we're absolutely looking for her. Why don't you go look for her? Dumb fuck. Why don't you go look for her?
A body. Says, oh, it feels like we're looking for a body right now. A body? Do you mean the body of your deceased child, Maddie? A body. We're not just randomly looking for a body. No, we're not searching the whole world high and low just to find a body. This is your daughter we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's so depersonalized. She's so like, everything's is like, they did this, we did this. It's nothing about like her, Maddie, as in Maddie being a person, an entity in her own right.
Do you find it odd that she said you're looking for a body, not a daughter?
Right. 100% find that odd. That's why I said it. A body is so depersonal, impersonal, whatever you want to call it, whatever the right word is. A body? No, we're not just searching for any body, Jen. We're searching for your daughter.
And it's not even the stupid shit she says, it's what she doesn't ask.
Yeah. It's
Someone with a missing daughter, she doesn't seem to have any questions for them.
Right.
Think about that. She doesn't have any questions for them. Now, what was he doing throwing that stuff away?
Yeah. Why would he? Oh.
And that outfit she's describing is what she had on.
Yeah.
We know what Maddie was found wearing, but she lied from the get-go.
Everybody catch that? Let's rewind it. It's raw and it's punching her right in the mouth.
I can't tell what he's holding. I don't know if it's a plastic bag full of stuff or...
Inside of that bag is Maddie's backpack, Maddie's school computer, and one of her Crocs.
Are you telling me we're looking for a body right now?
We're looking for Maddie, absolutely. 100.
He corrected her. You're telling me you're looking for a body right now? We're looking for Maddie, absolutely. Not a just random body out there.
Exactly my point. Like, they're talking about your daughter, using her name, using her pronouns, using her story. They're humanizing her. What Jen is doing is completely like, just me just reminded me of the word dehumanizing. Are you telling me that we're looking for a body right now?
Yeah. Any random body. Could be a hit and run on the highway. It could be roadkill. We're looking for Maddie. Absolutely.
Right.
And I love how
brings it straight back to it being about Maddie and it being about a human person, a life. The person that Jen is supposed to care more about in the whole world than anybody. And Jen's the one sitting there going, are we looking for a body? Yeah. Oh, I want to do things I can't say out loud.
I got you, girl. I got you, girl. I'm here too.
100% we're looking for her.
No. It's most likely she's not alive.
I don't know. I can't answer that. I have a feeling that you and Stefan have some sort of communication on places he likes to go or So, because some of the questions that I ask, it seems like you almost not cover up for him, but kind of defend him or have answers to some of these questions.
Because I want you to have more further insight as to why he
And I
might do
appreciate that.
things.
Mhm. But him,
Bitch, did you not just hear what he said?
Mhm.
It seems like you're trying to cover up for him. I know you have more insight as to where he goes. The title of the show, 300 Miles in Room 4. She knows.
Mhm.
She knows where his ass goes. She knows what goes on in Room 4. She knows what goes on in her own bed, hence why she said it's too risky.
Yep.
She knows. And he's telling her, you're covered up. I just want you to have some more insight. Oh, I appreciate that. But you're not giving him insight. You're covering, not so much for Stefan. This is the reason we had the 911 high alert text to Christopher Stern saying, get him an attorney. They found the images.
Mhm.
This is all to save her. And I hate to tell Home Skillet, but Botox isn't going to help that ugliness.
Yeah.
but you saying he is forgetful and
And
all that
Maddie too.
stuff.
I just want you to understand, like, we're all the same. We're both we're all very forgetful. We're all very time blind. It's just part of our ADHD. I just want you to know, like,
What kind of grades does she make at school? Not great. What about her attendance record?
she's got a lot of doctor's appointments that we've gone to. So she's got a lot of absences.
Are they excused or unexcused?
I want to say for the most part excused. Every time I take her to a doctor's office, I bring a note.
Mm. Do you know that for sure, or we're working on getting her school attendance record? I'm just wondering if you being a parent, I would hope that you would know kind of like what her, because I know my daughter's school that if any of them miss one period or 2 periods or something like that, they will call me and say, hey, such and such missed periods 3 or missed period 7 or something like that.
They don't do that. They send out an email and a voicemail, like an automated voicemail, saying your child was absent today from Hunter
That's
Street
what I
Middle
just said.
School, but not period.
Your child is absent today from Hunter Middle School. He goes, that's what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm saying. You get a voicemail or an email. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How did you not know she wasn't at school on Monday? Of course she got a call saying she wasn't there. But she pretends to be picking her up and acts like she doesn't know what's been going on all day. And this beautiful little girl deserved much better than what she was dealt.
Yep.
Period 1, 2, 3, and it's not early in the morning like some other states do. It's late in the evening at 5 o'clock.
He's not talking about other states, you dipshit. He lives in the same county. We're not talking about fucking Wyoming.
Yep.
We're talking about your state.
Mhm.
We're talking about the county you live in.
Where it's really late.
Totally after the fact.
Yeah, totally after. Like, it's.
Have you got a lot of those phone calls of her missing class?
While it's redacted right there, I want to say this real quick, and it's already blew by in chat. Less than 60 seconds ago, she asked, are you telling me you're looking for a body? And here we are. I mean,
A body.
Mhm.
He's talking about what's going to the dumpster. She's like, what day? Well, what day do you think you're there for? They're not talking about you all going garage sailing the weekend before. They're talking about the day your daughter disappeared. What day?
And
The
this
day
is
she went missing.
right. And this is a photo of your child who you just asked if she was, you just said she was asleep. We told you she's not sleeping at SeaWorld in the vehicle at 9 in the morning.
In the morning?
Oh,
Do you see the moon out, you fucking idiot? What do you think he's throwing away? Clothes? Well, why would you say that? What do you mean, what day? He's, goodness. Logical is always, I'd be like, I'm going to assume he's throwing away trash.
I think you're right, though. She's putting something in between herself and every answer so that it seems like she's not responsible for any of this. As long as she don't have to cop no responsibility for any of this, she's good. They told her 60 seconds ago that well, she just asked if they're looking for a body, and now she's sitting there having a full-on conversation about something else. No pennies have dropped yet, not at all.
Listen. Nothing. Crickets. I mean, damn it, man.
I would say, yeah, I've got a good number of those voicemails and stuff. But I mean, even with excused doctor's notes, I'll still get those phone calls.
Yeah, because they miss school.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've got.
Yeah. I mean, like she's. Wow.
A lot of those.
Okay. When you say she doesn't make good grades, what's considered not making good grades?
C under, C, D, F. She's always, so she's got an IEP. She struggles with, she's got a few learning disabilities with reading, with mathematics. Her ADHD doesn't help anything at all. She's very spacey, very, like she could see a squirrel and completely forget. Like the teachers have told me, like they'll tell her to do her work and she'll be like, oh, okay. And then see something, completely get sidetracked and then forget. And they're always on top of her. But
who's on top of her? It's not the teachers. They're always on top of her. No. Nope. I mean, I'm trying to take as many deep breaths as I can.
Yep.
She has nothing positive to say about her little girl. She has nothing to say about how pretty she is, how great she sings. She can't say anything about it. How she's, popular in school. I mean, I don't know.
Even the first
like she's
news interview, she never did. She's never had a good word to say about Maddie. Never. You would think that if your daughter, even if you just thought your daughter was missing, well, not just, but you thought your daughter was missing at this point because she hasn't been found, you would be like, she's an amazing girl. She has such amazing talent. I miss her. We have great time. There's nothing. She says nothing positive about Maddie. From day one, she hasn't. And she's still doing it. And it's victim blaming.
It is victim blaming, and it's worse than that. Look at Jenn Soto and look at her daughter. Look at how jealous she is of her.
Yeah.
That is the reason. I know some people don't want to hear it again, but that's okay. But that's the reason she said this.
I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child and the child turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him that was my biggest fear and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
why would you say that to him?
Because I never trusted. I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man.
Her mom didn't tell her that. This was her motivation.
Yeah, she's just... I forgot where I was going with this. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Her grades and attendance.
Oh, yeah. Her grades suffer because of her ADHD for sure. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons she got an IEP is because she's technically 2 years behind with her reading level.
Now, why would she be 2 years behind? Could you imagine what was going on in that house to where she can't concentrate in school?
Yeah. Yeah, I
She's
wonder.
sitting there talking about her. She's like, oh, she's got ADD. She's got this. She's got that. No. What she has is called trauma.
Yep. 100%.
She's anxious. She is an anxious mess all the time because she knows if she gets home and he's there and Stefan or whoever else doesn't want a piece of Jenn, she knows where she's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
She knows it's painful. She knows it's degrading. She knows it's humiliating. She knows it's dehumanizing. She also knows that she has been served up by her mother.
Yeah, for real.
Yep.
Okay. What grade is she in?
7th.
Okay. And I know we talked last night too, and I just kind of want to reiterate, has she had any changes in her behavior in the past few years?
I'll say yes. But it was all around where puberty hit, and like the typical teenage, the attitude, the sass, the talking back, the disrespect, the pushing boundaries. She was very much doing that. But that calmed down over the last few months. Got even better when Stefan moved out and went to Northport.
Wonder why.
Maddie and I were actually seeing a therapist together to try to like work through our.
I don't believe this for a second. I don't believe this for a second because I don't care if that therapist got her therapy license out of a book online and lets him sit in her garage. She would know something is really off with Madeline. Go ahead, Kat. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I don't think you did cut me off. The only thing I would say to that is if you genuinely thought it was normal teenage angst, for example, that Madeline was going through, why take her to a therapist? I mean, it must have been bad if that's the reason you say you took her to a therapist. You must have known something was going on more than just teenage angst, which is how she just described Maddie's behaviour to the officer. Teenage
angst is, I've got a zit. Why don't you take me to the dermatologist?
Yeah.
I hate this place. How come I can't do what the other kids do? Mm-hmm. What do you mean I have to go to bed at 8 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
Why does this person have this car and I've got this one? Did you see what such and such has and I don't have that? That's teenage angst.
Mm-hmm.
No. But her being 2 years behind in school, she's got other things, did, on her mind that she can't concentrate.
Yep.
She can't concentrate on what's going on at school.
Issues because we were having problems communicating.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So, Stefan, tell me about his. I know you say he likes to play board games and all that stuff. Is he like? What else does he like to do for fun?
He's a collector. He collects.
Play sports or anything like that?
No, he collects games and hobbies. He collects. Do you know what Tamagotchis are?
Mm-hmm.
He collects Tamagotchis. He's got so many of those. Digimons, lightsabers.
What a cool dude. He plays Digimon and has lightsabers.
Yeah.
Now, we did a show, several months ago, where he's talking to all these people about these different Digimons and stuff. It flat out grossed me out because Well, he's a grown man.
Yep.
And he's talking to young children.
Right.
That's called a predator.
Yep.
He also
Yep.
collects images. He collects videos.
Yeah.
Does he like to go camping? Does he like to go to the beach or any of that stuff?
No, the beach makes him self-conscious because he doesn't like how his body looks. He calls himself flabby.
I just looking to
But, no, he's not an outdoorsy person. He doesn't play sports. He doesn't like the beach. Okay, he used to. Okay, this may be relevant. Back a few years ago, I used to own a scooter, an electric scooter, and he owned something called the One Wheel, which is like a kind of like a scooter but with one big round wheel in the middle. We would take that and ride around. The Kissimmee Trail connects back here, so we'd take that to the Kissimmee Bridge. Do that trail over there, come back, or also go into Shingle Creek, cross the street, across Hoagland, go behind an apartment complex, and we end up in Shingle Creek. We would ride all of that and explore all of that wetlands and greenery back there. But we haven't done that in a while. We haven't owned scooters or electronic devices in a few years.
Okay.
Tell me about, you said there was an apartment in Northport.
Yeah.
Is that Stefan's mom's
No.
and dad's? Or you guys had a separate apartment?
We rented our own separate apartment.
Okay, where was that? Obviously Northport, but do you remember the complex name?
Let me see.
And how long ago was that?
This was back in 2020.
Okay.
I don't remember the month we moved in, but we moved out in November of 2020. We were there somewhere between 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
Let me see if I have there.
Was it just you three there?
Yes, it was just the three of us.
Okay. Is Northport, I've never been there. Is it a big city, small city?
Oh, I'm sorry. So the apartment we used to live in is in the town next door over. It's called Port Charlotte, Florida.
Okay.
That's a small town. Northport, even smaller, I would say. But Northport being more popular because it's attached to Sarasota County, so it has more people living in it. Charlotte County is pretty small.
Is it rural?
I mean, there was a city center, and there was a Tamiami Trail ran through it.
Okay.
So, major road, lots of businesses, lots of shops. So, no, I mean, it's out in the middle of nowhere, but.
Fun fact is Northport is the third largest city in the state of Florida, square miles wise.
Yeah, it's big. The name of the apartment complex I used to live in is called Charleston K.
Does it still exist today? Is that still what it's called?
I'm not sure. I can Google.
And you don't know him to still own it or rent it?
No, because it was under my name. The apartment
was under your name.
Yeah, and I'm the one who gave up the lease.
Okay.
As far as I know, it still exists.
Oh, Charleston. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
And you guys, so you were in that apartment for roughly 6 to 8 months, you said, right?
Yes.
Did you live in Port Charlotte or Northport for longer?
No, we immediately
Only that time.
Only that time we moved right back.
Okay. And what would you guys typically do around there?
We did absolutely nothing. It was during quarantine time, so we were very afraid of COVID, very afraid of going to the store and doing anything. We stayed home, watched movies, watched a lot of Netflix, played a lot of board games.
Okay.
But that was about it. We didn't. So sometimes we'd go to the beach, Venice Beach.
Yep.
But that's about it. We didn't really go anywhere.
Not much stuff outdoors?
Loser.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we just stayed in there because, you know, we were so afraid of COVID. Then why'd you move?
Right.
The 8 months is not a lease. Normally they're 6 months, a year. I mean, I guess you can get them however you want. You can do month to month. So I gave the lease up in my name, which means she just hopped out of the lease. Just so scared of COVID. We just had to stay in there and watch Netflix. Yeah, we know what happened. We know what happened.
During that time frame?
No, just Venice Beach.
Okay. When did you realize that he went to Northport recently?
When one of the officers told me.
Okay. So what night was that?
Last night.
So they told you last night, or he went last night?
They told me last night that he had
Okay.
went earlier that morning to Northport in my car.
Okay. Were you guys staying at the hotel together?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you not notice him gone? Did you sleep through it?
I slept through it. I went to sleep around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And I did not wake up until 9. And that's when I noticed he was gone. And I called Stefan's dad, Chris, who was in the same hotel. And I said, "Hey, is Stefan with you?" He goes, "No, he's not with you." And I'm like, "No, he must have left and my car keys are gone." He's like, "Oh." I'm just like, maybe he ran out to get some food, or maybe he ran out to get something, or to Target. And he's like, "Okay, we'll just give him a little bit to wait."
Why didn't you call him directly?
Stefan?
You have a phone?
I don't think he had a phone.
Okay.
And I think his dad eventually did give him a phone for him to use, but that was later that morning. And I was never given that phone number either, so I never had a way to contact him.
Okay. Why do you think he would go there?
I was told he went into a storage unit. I have no freaking clue what he would be getting in a storage unit or hiding.
Do you know about the storage unit?
I have heard of the storage unit. I've always known Chris or his parents to always have storage units. They own a lot of shit. They're kind of a little bit like hoarders, but they own a lot of stuff. They have, I think, a few storage units, or they did. I think they may have condensed down to just one, maybe. But yeah, I've always known them to have storage units.
Okay. And if you were to leave from Kissimmee, what way would I go to get to Northport or Port Charlotte?
I-4 down to 75 to exit 179, I think, Toledo Blade Road.
Toledo Blade?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they live pretty close right off the highway.
Did you see him when he got back eventually?
Yes.
Did you ask him?
Yeah, where the fuck he was. I'm like, an officer's coming right now to interview us. Where the fuck have you been? This would have looked terrible if you weren't there. And he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I went out to go get some food and I found a Wawa and then I got turned around and I got lost and then I made it my way back here." And we're like, "Oh, okay." Not fucking thinking anything other.
I need somebody to tell me what the hell is a Wawa?
It's a gas station.
Oh,
It's a gas station.
okay. Well, is it like a brand of gas station or something?
Yeah, like we have Quick Trip, we have the Come and Go, we have, yeah, we do. We have the Sinclair, you know, all that stuff. But there's Wawas.
Okay.
I saw the clock saying 3:30 when I got up to go to the bathroom. I was in the bathroom for a little while and then I came back.
And he was
Okay, I'm going to go back to that. But you guys have got to hear this comment that I received. I don't know why this just popped up. This is from Nat Loves Jesus.
Mhm.
What's that noise?
Oh, so I'm just feeding my cats in the background. I'm going to mute.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. No. I thought OJ was doing something. Okay. Nat Loves Jesus Nat loves Jesus. Where are you? Jenn's not the nastiest person we have ever met because we haven't met her. We only know what the detectives decide to put out. But we don't know this woman. Only Jesus does. Okay. Nat loves Jesus got the idiot of the week.
Was there?
He was there. And
What
he
an
was asleep.
accolade.
So I went to bed around that time. I was in the bathroom for, I'm gonna say 10 to 15 minutes. I had terrible dinner and it just was not okay. But when I got out, he was awake, or he was asleep. I'm sorry. He actually mentioned, "Oh man, I woke up really early this morning, around 4," and he mentioned waking up around 4-ish because he had really bad diarrhea and used the restroom.
Ew.
He mentioned that the following day.
And just so I'm on the same thought process, what day were you guys in the hotel?
What day were we in the hotel?
Would that have been Tuesday night?
Really late Tuesday night, so I think it was technically Wednesday morning when we checked into the hotel. It was really early. But yeah, Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning.
Okay. I want to divert a little bit with Maddie.
Wah 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 wah.
Never. Okay. Did she disclose to you about her? Has she had a period yet? Do you know?
Yeah.
Did she disclose to you?
Okay, perk up, listen up. Take a shot of whatever, coffee, water, orange juice, adult beverage. Perk up, listen up.
You about that?
Yes.
So do you know her regular
Cycle? I usually put it, she usually tells me when she gets it and we put it in an app.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I'm not trying to get into an argument with anyone. I know this is a lot to take in. I probably should have done this in 2 shows. Who really tracks their daughter's periods unless they think they're sexually active? And then, of course, that's a different topic of conversation.
I
You
can't
know,
really speak on that because I don't have any daughters. I have enough trouble trying to track my own.
I mean, when a girl starts menstruating, sometimes it can be like another 6 months before you have one.
Yeah.
They said she started puberty at 11. Now, any woman knows that sometimes, I mean, I think the only time that, my mother would say anything is, take extra iron, during, your cycle. But she was really ingrained in this.
Yeah,
And
she seemed a little bit too invested in it for my liking.
right. And it's because she knew something else was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I must have missed it this month, or she must have not told me this month when she got it, but I have it written down when she got it back in January.
When should she have had it this month, roughly?
The beginning of the month. She got it in January 1st. So it should have been around the end of February.
In
First few days of
January,
the-
1st of February?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And was she pretty consistent on telling you?
Yeah, she would tell me when she would get her period. And then she'd actually also tell me every time she used the restroom, like, Mom, success, I pooped. And I'm like, cool. Because
Right.
she's got GI issues.
And she didn't tell you about this last cycle?
No.
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 You're very welcome. Yeah, I've seen it go flying by in chat. Some of the questions are like from last week's new audio that we got, but they were asked by different people.
Now, in April, they spoke more. In April of 2024, after Madeline's body had been found, they spoke more about the missed period in February. No one has ever come out and said, not one person, that she wasn't pregnant. If we happen to see that there is an extra charge, which would be murder, because in Florida, if you kill a pregnant woman, it's not one charge for murder, it's two.
Yeah.
If you kill a woman that's pregnant with triplets, you get 4. Now, some states don't do that. They don't. I'm not going to get into that right now. The statute never goes away. But they are really honing in on this, and I'm wondering why they keep bringing it up. They obviously know a lot more. Because why would you be asking about that? I think this was a big panic between her and Stefan.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they realized that something needed to be done sooner than later. That's the reason Jenn basically over medicated herself to sleep. So she didn't hear anything.
Do you think there's another possibility in this, that perhaps they believed that Maddie might be pregnant and that could have been a motive, but she actually wasn't pregnant?
Oh, absolutely.
So it's a possibility that the reason they keep asking about the period thing is to try and see if either of them believed, and especially the mother, who they know kept track of the periods, if either of them believed that she might be pregnant, even if she wasn't actually pregnant when all was said and done.
100%.
Yeah.
And I have another question for discussion. You're such a control freak that you let your daughter sleep in the living room with a partition and all kinds of strangers walking in and out.
Mm-hmm.
You say she does her own laundry, but you keep up with her periods.
Right.
You have no issue with her sleeping with your boyfriend, but you keep up with her periods. You know there is a tripod in room 4, but you keep up with her periods.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't remember your own name half the time.
You have problems remembering all the time, but you keep up with her periods.
Yeah.
So, and
Your emotion when I told you
Oh, I like this bit.
you broke down like that. Do you remember that? Like instantly crying. But when you talk about her possibly missing, or God forbid, deceased, that emotion changed.
What do you mean by changed?
So when I told you, you broke down and started crying. Okay. But then when I showed you the pictures and said that she may not be asleep in those pictures, your emotion just changed.
I don't want to believe it. I want to. In my heart, I know you're showing me what you're showing me, and you're telling me he threw away her backpack. And I want to assume the worst. I don't want to assume the worst. I want to assume that she's still alive, that she's out there, that he's hidden her somewhere. But with what you're showing me, it feels like we're looking for a body. I'm just in shock.
Oh, you go.
I don't want to believe that she's dead in those images you showed me. She doesn't look like she's sleeping. Who sleeps? When you sleep in a car, you sleep with your head on the door. Her head was over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her head was over there, right? That's the reason between you dumbass. That's the reason between 7:30 when he's at the dumpster, which basically all he has to do is back the car up, put it in park to throw stuff away. He was in a hurry. 6 minutes later, female body in passenger seat as Stern's car leaves apartment complex. You couldn't see it before. He ran back in to get the leash that he might have used for something else to make sure she was sitting upright. Fake tears.
I don't know what you want me to say or do, or just want my daughter back.
And this is exactly what I was just talking about. We are literally having a conversation right now about Maddie possibly being dead.
Yeah.
And you have yet to shed a tear. But when I mentioned to you that he...
Right.
I got to pause it there.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
When I say to you, she's not asleep, you didn't shed a tear.
Yeah.
But when I mentioned to you, go ahead, Kat.
I was going to say, you know who else saw trigger after trigger after trigger and not shed a tear? Candace on the Dr. Phil show.
Mm-hmm. And that's what he said to her.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I show you trigger after trigger after trigger after trigger, and you have nothing. You have nothing.
possibly has done something to Maddie. We are literally having a conversation right now about Maddie possibly being dead.
Yeah.
And you have yet to shed a tear. But when I mentioned to you that you were crying violently almost. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Because that was physical proof. That was proof of what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
That destroyed me. Until that picture of her asleep or not asleep in the car is not proof to me until I see a body.
Mm-hmm.
I have hope that she's still alive. But I don't know what you're telling me. I'm starting to fucking doubt everything. But I can't tell you why I broke down over one, and I'm being really serious now.
So here's what's going to happen. Starting tomorrow, it's already started, but tomorrow there's going to be information being released between our department and Orange County's Sheriff's Office, is that now this entire investigation is the Kissimmee Police Department's investigation. Okay. I think I told you that last night.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, we are probably going to start working this case as a homicide.
Okay.
Now listen, we're going to start working this case as a homicide. She goes,
okay.
She already knew. She already knew.
He just called her out on her lack of emotion, and she's like, yeah, I don't really know what you want me to say or how you want me to act or how you want me to behave.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, we're going to work this case as a homicide. She says, okay.
Like she doesn't know what homicide means.
Right. I can't believe this woman. I literally can't believe her. Like, my jaw has been on the floor.
In her mind, Maddie is her competition. That's the reason she said my biggest fear was that he was going to do a Woody Allen and groom her and leave me for her. Then why'd you have the bastard around?
Right.
You're sitting there talking about lightsabers and figurines. Why'd you have him around? But then she's like, oh, but I didn't see anything weird going on. No, you did. Okay, listen to her. Okay.
You hear that? We're going to start working this case as a homicide. Okay. 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 I mean, damn it, man.
Because he's in jail right now for... Okay. He's in jail for that. Mm-hmm. But we believe he possibly has done something to Maddie. And we want to know where he would possibly go. Now, this is going to be a very difficult situation. But do you have any knowledge of what he has done with her?
I wish I could tell you, but I have no idea.
She says, no, I wish I could tell you. I have no idea. It's that was really low too. And that was either the detective's stomach or her stomach that was growling, I guess. That wasn't me.
I wish I knew. I wish I knew I would tell you. Having it be such the homicide makes it official for me.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Is there any more images you could show me?
Not at this time.
She asked him if there was any more pictures.
Okay. Is there any more pictures you can show me? Not at this time. I'd say no. I want to see it all. I want to see it all.
What? Maybe I just don't understand. But they showed her one picture that she said, "Well, I don't recognise anything in that picture." When they were showing a picture of his junk to her,
Mhm.
I don't recognise anything in that picture. Then they show her at least 4 or 5 photos and videos of Madeline in the front seat of Stefan Stein's car, where she's quite evidently unalive. She didn't believe that either. She's kind of like, well, it hasn't quite sunk in yet. I won't believe anything until I see a body, not her daughter's body, a body.
Mhm.
And now she's like, well, is there any more pictures you can show me? Why are they going to show you more pictures?
They're not. And when she says, "Oh, it's official for me now," what do you mean it's
Uh-huh.
official? You already texted his father
Uh-huh.
saying, "Get him an attorney now," because they found the images.
Yep.
Pictures that he could show her.
He likes to visit gaming shops and like board game shops. Does he drive around aimlessly just to kill? I mean, just to drive? I don't think so. I think he goes out with plans.
Notice how she got that? He don't drive around just to kill.
Yeah, she stopped herself on kill.
Yeah.
He doesn't just drive around aimlessly, and it's going to loop around a lot because they go through it a lot on the docket. Please check out the docket. What stuck out to you the most? I'll start with Kat, and then if anybody wants to grab the link and come up, I would love it.
Oh man. I watched this at probably like 7:30 this morning UK time, and my brain is blown. I think the comment that she made, the Woody Allen effect thing, it'll be the thing that will stay with me probably for the rest of my life, because I swear down, I don't even know how she had the brazen balls to admit that was her biggest fear, always telling him that. That to me, I'm sorry.
The Freudian slips, I cannot believe.
Yeah.
He doesn't just drive around to kill.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, but
Yeah.
he's in jail for killing your daughter. There's just so many things. I'm going to start with this.
And he threw away her backpack. That was her backpack in that bag. How long does somebody go to jail for this? Please tell me. It's so much.
The fuck. Sorry, language. The fuck. How long is somebody going to jail for this? Please tell me it's so much.
How long is someone going to jail for this? Why aren't you demanding to kill him? Why are you concerned about when he's going to get out? Then we have this.
I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child and the child turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him like that was my biggest fear and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
why would you say that to him?
Because I never trusted. I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man.
Her mom put that in her body.
Yeah.
Not her mind. Okay. But yet the man that supposedly Yolanda was talking about is Jenn Soto's father, who owns the building that she lives in. Put that in my body. Yeah. Oh, he didn't like to go to the beach because he feels like he's too, flabby. And the teachers would be on top of Madeline all the time. If we knew somebody that was an actual psychiatrist that can break down what she says, they'd have a damn field day.
Yep, for real. For real. Yeah, I don't know what that's called. It is a Freudian thing, isn't it? It's like Freudian slip when you say one thing but you mean something completely else, and
I think what gets me the most, and I'm going to have to clip it, is when she says, oh, you're looking for a body? A body? We're not talking about some dude that fell in the river fishing.
Right.
We're talking about your daughter.
Yep.
We're talking about the fruits of your loins here, lady. We're talking about the little girl that you gave birth to. Looking for a body?
Yeah.
We have a lot more to unpack here. Do you guys want to take a break and not talk about Madeline tomorrow and talk about something else? You all tell me. In chat, there's 302 people here. So you tell me, do you want to continue this discussion about Madeline tomorrow, or do you want to talk about something else? Because, I mean, trust me, if you've got the time, I've got the crime.
Yeah.
This might be,
Energy over
okay.
time.
Love One Another said Maddie, KPM said Maddie, Wendy said nope, no break. Eileen said, okay, all right. Then we are going to talk again tomorrow about Maddie. It's only getting worse.
Yeah, for real. Like, just when you thought you've heard it all in this case, I mean, we haven't obviously heard it all because, you know, thank the Lord for Maddie's sake that a lot, even the most important information in this case is being held because of the protecting her and protecting because she's a minor child. So the worst of it is being held. But what we're hearing is so heinous and so absolutely gut-wrenchingly awful that it's like you just think it can't get worse. And then the next interview comes out and it's like the fudge is going on. My mind is blown today. I'm not going to lie. My mind is actually blown today.
It is mine too. I just can't imagine any mother, any human being,
Right,
mother or not, that sits there and is confronted with a picture of their daughter and they instantly say, oh, she's asleep.
yeah.
She's not asleep. She's not asleep. We've already had, you know, professionals look at this and say, no way, that's not how people sleep.
Right.
No, Oh, he came in to get the leash. He had to take the dog on a walk at 8:13 a.m. No, he ran back in to get a leash because he knew that he could not keep her setting up because she was dead. So I don't know what socials you guys are on, what Facebook groups you guys are in, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post this for tomorrow. Hopefully our girl Kat can come back on. If she's busy, we totally understand. You're in good hands either way. So please share it and let's get the word out because there's too many mothers like Jenn.
Yeah, that's the sad facts of it all is that this isn't an isolated case in the world. Hell no. Shocking.
Can we have a huge round of applause for our girl Kat and for our fabulous mod squad? KPM knows what's up. She said, thank you. Going to start this from the beginning now. Look at this. And Bunny, for real, a man is never worth it. They're the absolute best because you know why? You're not here for drama. You're not here for drama. You're not here for my face. Thank God. You're here for the cases. You have hearts of gold and you know what's important.
Love you, Brooks.
I love you too. Hey, call me after this, okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys are the absolute best community and chat and friends on the nasty fire dumpster that is YouTube.